Hello.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going good.
Good.
So this time, we're breaking up the normal, history stuff or whatever related stuff.
Yeah.
Because I want to deal with which we already dealt with it twice. But the amount of bullshit just sometimes I can't stand.
It's just too much.
Yeah. And so I see things, being said or whatever, and I know, some facts about what's going on. Like the what we're going to currently talk on, from the river to the sea.
Right.
This chant, every time I hear somebody not mention that it is a Zionist chant, and it came from Zionism, and it still is, for many, is still part of Zionism, and yet they'll call it anti-Semitic because a Palestinian uses it.
Right.
And just to me, the absolute dishonesty in not explaining that this is and always was a Zionist chant. I mean, it just not starting with that, and then how they frame the shit is just, yeah. It fucking pisses me off. All I could say is, but the other thing too is I feel it is kind of related to this because I like to deal with history and then like straighten out the facts. Here's some fucking history. This chant was in the Bible. This chant has been part of Israel since its conception. This chant has been promoted by Israeli, leaders, including the current one who said it currently this year.
Right.
Netanyahu currently this year, not like 10 years ago, 1,000 years ago, whatever the fuck. Now, this year said it. So to not bring that up every fucking time is completely, to me, dishonest. And we talked about some before, right, in the last video with Graham Hancock about intellectual dishonesty. To me, this is pure intellectual dishonesty, at least.
Right. Yeah.
It's not absolute propaganda with an intent to harm or support harm.
Yeah, it's just a misrepresentative of the facts.
Massive. I mean, completely. Just imagine if you started the argument when they go river to the sea, and you go, "Well, excuse me, that's a Zionist phrase that was used just to break it down for you. Besides it being the Bible, just so people know, that was widely used. I don't know if thousands, but at least hundreds of years before Israel. Like before Israel ever was any, there was no Israel. This was already a Jewish Zionist phrase. Just trying to make a comment. Then the entire time that it's been a state, it has, or whatever country, it has been their term. Only later, after probably hearing it infinitum, the Palestinians finally went, "Hey, you know what? I agree.
We can co-opt this."
Yeah. No, to not explain that is just, like I said, it's fucking irritating, seriously. And so I wanted to deal with complex hunter-gatherers and get into our stuff about mounds and then get into the Americas, eventually all the different videos. But this had to be addressed. It's just like plus I hear it over and over again on the fucking news. This is anti-Semitic. If you say this, you should lose your job. I'm like, these people have lost their fucking minds. Like, what the fuck? Anyways.
Yeah.
So go listen before we finish all my opinions about this. What did you know before hearing anything I said or knowing anything I've said? What is your conception of it before hearing anything from me or whatever?
I kind of only heard the term, the phrase recently, right? Like in the past few months.
Right.
And I thought it was like, because it's, when I heard it, it's combined with like, it's from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free. Right. And so to me, that's just like a cry for like liberty, right? Like,
I think it's the whole point they get, which I think should also, to me, this is what's weird. Let's just say, I always love buying what people say. I agree with you. I don't see it. I don't personally see either of them actually as being as toxic as I think that they probably, maybe even they see it. Right. Because of course I try to give people the benefit of the doubt who are generally actually good people. And if you just, as anarchists, if you just allow people to be themselves in a safe environment, that people flourish. Anyways,
Yep.
Now I'm actually for the no state solution. Truly, everyone should fucking live there and learn to get along. You shouldn't impose Judaism, and you shouldn't impose any religion of the Muslims. You guys should work together. I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
But back in the real world for right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you had heard it barely, right? So did you know it was a Zionist phrase before I said that?
I did not. No, I did not. Yeah.
Did you know it was in the Bible?
No.
4 times?
No, I had
because
no idea.
You know it was an accident. No, yeah. Because I'm wrong. But there's a whole bunch of problems. We're not going to read everything. We're going to address the blog. We're going to address some videos. I want to try to, because it so irritates me, I want to try to give as much background as I can to get how the media, I don't care what your thought when you're looking at this video, how the media portraying it is fucking bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
We don't even have to say who's right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, like the higher, which I do, that does matter actually, but I mean, the higher morals or whatever, just the fact of what's being presented is not the fucking facts.
Yeah.
Contrary and one-sided, and like leads that everybody who says that is a fucking terrorist. That's practically what they're saying. What, or is it anti-Semitic racist? What the fuck? First off,
yeah,
as you know, Corey, I fucking hate states. Anyone who doesn't know, I'm an anarchist. I don't really like unjustified hierarchy ever.
Yep.
I do not believe that power somehow, just because might makes right. Just because power can be power doesn't make it justified to do anything at all.
Yep. Exactly.
Right. So I'm tough. I'm a big tough person. Does that somehow give me a right to just punch or have sex with anyone I want to? You know what I'm saying? I mean, exactly. Literally, I'm just giving a ridiculous way of showing that. Come on now.
Yeah.
You know this is bullshit. Anyways, so might does not make right. Power doesn't somehow create something. Now, that, like I said, just so people get on the general thing, I don't like states, and every state has no right to protection from criticism.
Yeah.
Not Israel, not Palestine, not fucking Iran, the U.S. especially, but I mean, wherever. I'm just saying, none. Fucking row. And as an anarchist, I will give no quarter to some stupid bullshit called lines that people made up because of wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, go just so you know my personal thing. I'm sure Corey's somewhat similar. But so that's the reason why, because of not liking hierarchies, as an anarchist, I think it's a logical thing to not like capitalism, which literally sets up all kinds of hierarchies. And they talk about how wonderful capitalism and how much it's raised people out of poverty. Then why is there still poverty in the world?
Yeah.
Why is there not a lack of poverty in any of the fucking countries that supposedly are champions of capitalism? Anyways.
Yeah. There's a lot wrong with that idea.
To me, capitalism literally will always have, let's say, in a million years in the future, we don't change any of our political systems. We keep it all capitalism, horseshit. Guaranteed, million years, still poverty.
Yep.
It will not. It will not solve it. You know, it doesn't even try to. In fact, it tries for the exact opposite.
Exactly.
It wants profits.
It
doesn't
requires
have a moral conclusion that, oh well, you got to do it ethically, or what even ethically would be. Anyways, to go into all that, I'm just saying. So we understand there's all kinds of fucked up shit, and to me, it's so simple. Racism, which I do class anti-Semitism, is it racism?
Yeah, it's a type of racism.
Right, type of racism, right? So, or anti-Palestinians, these people that are it's fucking racism.
Yep, that's right.
So I'm just making a comment. So I don't see these as special. They don't get special something. I understand that they're issues. Just like me being intersex, I do care about intersex issues because not only does it affect me, that they don't have rights. That would bother me even if I wasn't. The same thing with human rights. Being a racist is a violation of, I feel, human rights.
Yeah.
So, So just like to me, white supremacy, like in America, is fucking terrorism. I would literally label it that. They always want to label countries. Well, that country I don't like is terrorist. Not even that I may agree with them, but there's a bunch of shit I would label terrorism.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. The I mean, I'm just reading a book about like some of the civil rights stuff that was going on in the 60s and yeah, the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, no, literally the KKK and all that shit was full on terrorism. Like,
oh, well, to me, it still is. To me, terrorism, especially stuff like the KKK, does not have to be the violence they ever did. Let's just say they did no violence. The fact that they subjugate people because they put them in a race category as lower or less or not human,
yeah,
that's terrorism to me.
right.
The fact, especially when you have some sort of a political power or some kind of thing, that's even worse to me. That I see Nazism as terrorism. How the fuck could you live under that and then not be that case? I feel that America, it's anti-communism, is absolutely terrorism. You can have democracy, just don't choose that.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
The whole system is horseshit. But states have always been horseshit and will always be horseshit because they're founded on power and hierarchies, which are horseshit. Anyways, I know Corey's like, oh, where did you say something I disagree with? Well, that's not why we're here.
No, that's right.
No, so everybody, it's not that me and Corey think exactly like. I mean, Corey.
But in this regard.
But what I was going to say, in general, though, I think that both of us are similar leftists.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not like exactly on the 100% same page, but on most of the big things, pretty much the same.
Yeah,
I feel.
Yeah, anyway, it's the whole socialist anarchist thing. Like it comes with a certain number of values that you always believe in, right?
See now you're talking like me. Exactly. But values, right? Because once you understand the values, wouldn't we come to similar conclusions? And that's why I feel like I always focus on, although I'm an axiologist, so I think in values, judging and structures and but I think everybody, like I told you before, everybody in every part of your life, if you start to grasp why value matters, just like why tell the truth? Because it's a value that you have people that trust you. Why does it matter if people trust you? Don't you need that to, in a sense, get through the world, function in any kind of way? Yeah. Anyways, but so let's go to the two videos I give. And before you share them real quick, I do not agree with either of these videos. We're watching them to see the bullshit that's pushed.
Right.
As they are, to me, mainly one-sided. The first one is the worst that we're going to watch. Just saying it in advance. I really don't like it. It's total, it's just propaganda horseshit. But acting
is one from American Jewish Committee.
Yeah. Believe it or not, though, that's almost what I feel like the Daily News just almost, they have the people come down all the time that are Jewish. I mean, I haven't seen like a whole bunch of Palestinians come and talk about it. It's just nonstop, one-sided. The Jews come and say about how everything is, is bad against them, and every side, they're never wrong. Everything is confused. It's But this is of course not the news. I was trying to I wanted to find one that was exactly from the news, but also didn't care enough to do tons of searching. And so I found this and I went, this is pretty much what they play on the news. So
yeah.
Yeah, and this is a Jewish perspective, so you can't say that somehow, I'm trying to say. So remember, this is a person who's Jewish, who, as we already established, should know that this is a Zionist phrase. So the fact of that never being mentioned in the video is, like I already said, intellectually dishonest as fuck, and I feel outright harmful. But anyway, so the second one is a little bit better. It's from Canada. It's probably why it has just a tinge, more reason to it, but still sucks. But yeah, it's at least they actually bring up that the Jews use it. They don't even say anything about it came from them, but they use it kind of like but they say that Palestinians first, and they're like, also Netanyahu used it, as like a little amuse bouche here, a little side, here's a snack to the whole meal that we tried to pawn on you, that it's all about how bad the Palestinians are. By the way, he says it too. Maybe that's not good. How can you literally say this one's bad, but this one's not? I mean, if you're going to be consistent, even logically, if this one's bad, then this one also is bad. You can't say Palestinians use it bad, Jews use it, oh, wonderful, terrific, totally acceptable. Anyways,
there's some people who are doing really good criticism of the CBC and their coverage of the Israel-Palestine stuff, because it's obvious, it's pretty one-sided. Like it's
wait till you see the first video. I mean,
oh yeah.
It's like a propaganda. Let's go fight and kill the Palestinians.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So full disclosure, we are not endorsing this video.
Well, that's why I wanted to start with that. You get my point. I wanted to say we're showing this. I don't agree with this. This is horse. I just want to show you that I'm not like blowing it up. No, they are using this.
Right.
Fucking lying, not explaining anything, and just acting like, yeah.
All right.
Well, they also say any use of it is anti-Semitic. Of course. Like, no. What the fuck?
Yeah. You don't just get to do that, do you?
No. Especially, like I said, intellectual dishonesty is not telling us anything about where it comes from or anything like, that's always been yours.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe that matters.
Yeah. All right.
From the river to the sea. But what does it really mean? Those hearing this for the first time probably don't know that this is a call to action against Jews. It calls for the establishment of a state of Palestine, from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea, erasing the state of Israel. You heard that right. This isn't a message of peace. It's a call for the end of the world's only Jewish state and its people. That's how this phrase is anti-Semitic.
Nope.
I know, but yeah, I already said I hate this. I just wanted to make a comment that buying what he's selling. Let's buy that from the river to the sea means no more state of Israel. And my question would be, and how I guess no more America. Am I fucking right? What the fuck? I would like no more America. America's a piece of shit dog crap. It's always been piece of shit, racist, fucking bigoted, land theft, fucking murder, torture, supported elites. Yeah. Anyway, so America,
he does the thing.
Itself. I mean, Canada to Alberta. In fact, every fucking country in the world can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
What I'm saying though, that doesn't make me a racist.
No.
So I'm saying the whole premise, even if it means no more state of Israel, and
well, he explicitly.
I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying it's a bullshit argument.
It is 100%. He says it right in his thing. They mean the elimination of the only Jewish state and its people. But nobody says that. Nobody says that.
Once again, right? Aren't those conflating two things that actually don't go together? Exactly. I can say no more America. Does that mean that everyone lives here? I want to die? No, come on now. No.
That's the people who, when you say like land back, then they think that means genocide of the colonizers, right? Or if you believe in black nationalism, they're like, oh, but that's the same as white supremacy. No, it isn't. These are not the same.
Well, but that's what I'm trying to say is that there's so much lying. I don't want to focus on every dumb shit that this person says.
Yes.
I always wanted to make a comment, even if we buy his premise. Yeah. It's not true that just because we want Israel gone, that we want to somehow kill all Jews. What the fuck? That doesn't go together. And everybody could say, be against a state of anywhere, and it somehow not be racist. It's like, these are not things you get that automatically, they just keep pushing shit together like it's no.
Yeah, you don't get to do that.
Because he says it's anti-Semitic. The fuck?
Right. No, it isn't. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And that's why it's so hateful. And by the way, it's also the opposite of a two-state solution to the conflict. It's been used for decades as a rallying cry for anti-Israel activists and terrorist groups.
For 1 second. As if Israel has ever supported a two-state solution.
Yeah, no.
So once again, there's a false dichotomy. You added something like, aha, they don't want a two-state solution. Well, you never want a two-state solution. Ask Netanyahu what he wants. He's like, well, I mean, literally the U.S. is trying to force him, and he's still going, I don't fucking think so. So, I mean, it's just literal horseshit because you're acting like somehow this is something that Israel is not doing themselves.
I should have changed my YouTube account before I started playing this so that it doesn't wreck my algorithm.
What do you mean?
Well, because when you play like stuff like this or like right-wing stuff, then it starts to think that you want to watch it. And no, I don't want to watch this ever again.
I see, but and also look at they immediately say that if you support that, you like Hamas.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hamas was voted in and then never left. Stopped voting. Not a great thing just for anybody who likes democracy alone. So that doesn't mean that they don't. It's like a government head. Doesn't mean that people have to be oppressed, or that you should justify it, or that you have to act like everybody who wants freedom is somehow a supporter of Hamas.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, just conflating shit because their little argument. Then I agree with you about getting right wing stuff. Sometimes I see my stuff. What the fuck? I would never watch this bullshit.
Why would this come up? Yeah, yeah.
But I know sometimes there's research. So yeah. But I wanted to show because I didn't want to like straw man. I want to say, look at the crap that they're putting out, and and acting like this is truth. Anyways,
right. We'll finish it off. It's not that long, so
I know it just irritates me. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
Hamas. Now, despite its hateful message, we are seeing this all around the world, especially during Hamas's terror assault on Israel, on college campuses. In Germany, where calls for the elimination of Israel are banned, Minette Soccer Club suspended their player Anwar al-Ghazi over a post accusing Israel of genocide and ending with this phrase. In Australia, where police banned a pro-Palestinian protest for using the phrase and characterizing it as a call to violence. So let's be clear. Advocating for Palestinian,
absolutely.
Statehood is not anti-Semitic, but calling for the elimination of the Jewish state, that is.
Nope. No, it isn't. No,
Wrong.
It isn't.
It is not.
This news is funded by.
That's what I'm saying. It's just fucking stupid, more stupid, and then just fucking ends with a bunch of extra stupid.
Yeah, just lies, and extra lies on top.
Right. And so you can see where I watched this on American television news, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do a video on this. Fuck. What the fuck? I go, and I bet you a lot of people don't know it's in the Bible. They don't know this is a Zionist phrase, all this. I go, we needed to do one of our videos on history again and show what the fucking truth is. And this is horse crap because it's too much, man. And like I said, I do. So it's not, I feel like this is still addressing history and shit that I like to talk about,
For sure. Yeah.
So, and debunking nonsense.
Yeah. Debunking.
A valid thing to do in general.
Yep.
Anyways, let's watch the other one real quick, and then we'll start doing reading about all this.
Okay, so then this is this one.
At big pro-Palestinian rallies like this one the other day in Toronto, you'll hear it. Some see it as a rallying cry. Others consider it a call to eliminate Israel. In Montreal, too, you could hear that phrase over the crowd of thousands.
When we say we want Palestine to be free, it's from the river to the sea.
The U.S. Anti-Defamation League labels it an anti-Semitic slogan. Canada's Federation CJ.
Pause for 1 second. And then they never call it a anti-Palestinian slogan.
Right.
Yeah. It's just, really, motherfuckers?
It's a deflection, right? Like it's just they cannot address the fact that they are literally like oppressing people and causing an apartheid state and attempting a genocide. They have to turn it around and pretend that they're the victims of anti-Semitism because of this freedom slogan that's being used, right?
True. And even if we buy everything they're selling again,
it's still
bullshit. Like I said, on two things. One, you can't call it one person's use racist and another person's use the same use supposed and not racist. Right. So I find that to be seriously fucking bullshit. Yeah. Especially one saying, that the Anti-Defamation League would like to act like it's somehow high above things compared to the other one that was more Jewish propaganda, right?
Well, the ADL is anti-Jewish.
I feel like they also do a lot of propaganda. I was trying to make a point. They try to act. I said they. I didn't say I agree.
Yeah.
I'm saying they try to act like they are like some, because I've seen them on TV try to like, oh well, people have right to protest,
Yeah.
So I've seen that guy. I can't remember his name, but I've seen him on the news because I could care less. I'm not as caring about details about states and people and specific politicians. I know that's Justin's a historian and he really is way more likes that. I just don't. If I hear about it, that's the part I don't care. The fucking name. Who gives a fuck? Some dumb fuck said, that's all I remember, that saying river to the sea is anti-Semitic. I don't listen to and think about which dumb fuck.
Yeah, I know that whoever I'm looking at is full of shit.
But you get what I'm saying? I'm saying because I care really about history facts and about figuring out, the religion or figuring out culture or figuring out how states or power began. That's stuff I care a lot about, and those details are more important to me. Stuff like, because I'm an anarchist, I don't like states, so I do not fixate on little fucking aspects of it. That's all garbage to me.
Yeah.
And I could explain all the different ways, but I mean, so I'm just saying the same thing. It's just saying I hate when people try to act like they are somehow level-headed and literally are not. It's especially, like I said, saying that people are somehow forming violence, and then the other ones. Then Netanyahu is absolutely a violent person. I mean, he's calling for. Yeah, I mean, you can't say both, right? I'm just saying. Anyways, so go ahead.
Breeze.
When someone says from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, I question, where do you see the Jews going? That is hate speech, right? Because it is into the sea that they seek to send the Jews.
Some say it's more complicated.
They never said that. It's like ridiculous. If they say that they want to throw Jews into the sea, I would say I have a problem with that.
Exactly.
But I don't have a problem with even. I don't use the phrase "from the river to sea." I don't promote its use. I'm just saying, calling it the shit they call it is fucking garbage, especially not explaining it.
I think they assume that it's like, I don't know what I actually can't. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around it because like you say, nobody's eever said that. No, they say from the river to the sea, Palestine.
Well, I think your explanation is unfortunately maybe the absolute answer is it's just part of a campaign, which it can feel like. So I'm not big into conspiracy theories, but it certainly can feel like it's some sort of an organized campaign of some kind where people are, because look, even they passed a law that that it's racist and they passed a law that you shouldn't go legally after Netanyahu, even though an international court decided that they should.
Yep.
And to literally not let him even be arrested, because remember, he's supposedly innocent until proven guilty in court. So arrest actually doesn't mean straight to the gallows or some bullshit.
Right.
I mean, that's what America, I feel like, especially because they're voting out, don't let him be arrested. Are you saying he's guilty?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're saying he's guilty.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're so sure he's not guilty, why are you so sure that if they go there that he's going to be found guilty?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway. So, plus, you support the international rule of law. Oh, no, don't do that. That's our friend.
Yeah.
Or like Lindsey Graham says, oh, don't do that because they'll come for us. They should have came for America a long time ago.
Yeah,
just
right.
saying.
Yeah, that's right.
The meaning of this, or how a particular speaker intends it to mean.
We'll get back to that in a moment.
First, it's worth explaining that phrase refers to the land between the Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River, including the two present-day Palestinian territories, the Gaza Strip and the occupied West Bank. But calling for a free Palestine in that entire area is often interpreted as a wish to wipe Israel off the map.
In the 1960s, the Palestine Liberation Organization demanded the region return to an earlier era with only Palestine extending from the river to the sea. The PLO later embraced a two-state solution. But then Hamas co-opted the phrase as a murderous plot against Israel. Palestine is our land and nation from sea to the river, from north to south, said this Hamas leader, and we cannot cede an inch or any part of it. In its founding platform, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party used similar wording to say quite the opposite. Between the sea and the Jordan, it read, there will only be Israeli sovereignty.
To you, what does it mean?
When we talk about from the river
Pause for
to
1
the
second.
sea,
But you see, at least they admit that
Right. Yeah.
that Yahoo, it could be a Jewish thing. This,
I think that if we are being, kind of honest with the context of the term of the thing, like when Netanyahu says it,
yeah,
I actually do believe that he thinks that he will just wipe out all of the Palestinians and this will be all owned by the Israeli state.
Well,
right?
it appears that looks like he's doing that.
Right. So given the context of the situation, I feel like his words are genocidal, but given the context of the situation, when Palestinians say it, I don't feel that that's genocidal, right? Because things don't happen in a vacuum. They have surrounding context.
Right. Well, which they, like I said, they portray backwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sure. you get a skewed, even in this, which I said it's just barely a little bit better. You actually, because the other one, you never were told that it was anything to do with Jewish.
Right.
Or
yeah.
Israeli.
It was just it's like you said, like it was like a pure propaganda video. Like it's just there for that.
And they're literally lying and not telling the truth, which is intellectual dishonesty.
Yep.
Which we already talked about before with Graham Hancock. But it doesn't limit it to just people talking about nonsense in Atlantis kind of thinking or whatever. But but also like this, when you present things as if the fact, and especially to me, like when it said, remember it said, if you try to persuade or inform, well, literally they are doing both. So they absolutely are fucking guilty. They should write a fucking apology. It's embarrassing and disgusting, actually. It's even to Jewish people, even if they're pro-Israel, should be offended by the fact that right? Because you're not racist, are you? So it should bother you, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
you're not
exactly.
pro-genocide, even if you're pro-Israel. You're not pro-genocide, are you? Really? So it's fucking what? How the fact that there should be plenty of Israeli videos saying, yeah, this is ours. Yeah, we came up with it. Yeah, they started using it. Yeah, we hate it now.
Right. Yeah, there should be lots of that stuff for sure.
Well, anyways, I'm just making. Go ahead. We'll try to get through this.
Okay.
We're talking about a place that we call home.
Palestinian American writer Yusuf Munayyer uses that phrase, he says, to reflect the hope of freedom and dignity. He insists the dreams of Palestinians don't have to mean nightmares for Israelis.
From the river to the sea today, there is one state, an Israeli state, that rules over millions of people, Palestinians, who don't have equal rights, who are not free. That's what has to change. That doesn't mean that there should be any violence against Israelis.
U.S. Democratic Representative Rashida Tlaib posted, "From the river to the sea is an aspirational call for freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence, not death, destruction, or hate."
I'm the only Palestinian American serving in Congress, Mr. Chair, and my perspective is needed here now more than ever.
But the House voted to censure her.
Of course they did.
You fucking believe that? Fucking
Yeah,
ridiculous.
of course they did.
The land of the free, right?
Right.
Fuck.
Free speech as long as you don't fucking question our what we're doing. Fucking nonsense.
Yeah, or Biden just keeps getting. Oh, there's no genocide. No, it's not happening. Yeah. It's like Orwell. You're not seeing what's happening.
Right. Right.
Or even Trump, right? Trump says the same shit. You're not seeing that all this fucking criminality and bullshit. You're not none of this. Oh, I'm a con. Yeah, what always is amazing to me though is how people can like look at one and go, oh, look at Trump, like the Democrats. Oh, they see all the fucking warts on Trump. Yeah, they see no warts on Biden. It's like, seriously?
Yeah. They're both covered in warts, guys.
Yeah. Let's go.
In Calgary, this activist was charged with a hate-motivated disturbance for encouraging the crowd to chant what police called an anti-Semitic phrase. In an online briefing, Toronto police announced a different approach.
I'm not going to speak generally in terms of other chants, but if we're talking about that specific one, no, it would not meet the threshold of hate propaganda.
The phrase may be considered a
which is reasonable.
Yeah, that's right. That's at least like, yeah, maybe they're worried about like there's some phrases out there that are definitely anti-Semitic that would be hate speech.
And I have addressed the leftist was using anti-Semitic stuff to say that Israel and America were connected, militarily. I agree with the Israel and America are connected.
Yeah.
But I disagree with using racism and anti-Semitism, to somehow promote that. I'm like, you could say that shit about both of them. I got no fucking problem, but you don't need it. And he's like, oh, well, you need to do stuff because, we can't be civil. No, wrong. Racism's never good. That's like to me when authoritarians, like, we'll bring about, peace and communism by being a dictatorship to everybody and then still do capitalism in some kind of weird state capitalism way. But we will have good agreements with all the capitalist countries so we can sell our things.
Yep.
And be part of the capitalist system because we want to support that continuing.
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't agree with any of that shit.
Right, exactly.
I'm not a problem with communism. I have a problem with authoritarianism. Ever.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
But is it anti-Semitic? Dov Waxman says not always. He leads UCLA's Center for Israel Studies.
It is clearly an anti-Zionist slogan, although I don't support a one-state solution. I don't think it's inherently anti-Semitic to advocate for one.
It sounds like what you're saying is what it means largely depends on who's saying it and what they mean by it. Is that true?
Exactly. And also even where it's said and to whom it's said. So, it's one thing about chanting that in a political rally. It's another thing, going into a synagogue and yelling it.
In such tense times, words carry weight. Meanings and feelings count.
That's fine. We're done with that.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind that. Like, yeah, there's some points there that.
I didn't like it, but I told you at least as a whole thing because I still felt if you're going to start telling you about history, and I start telling you about when the Americans finally got their independence, and never mentioned to you that this country was fucking Native American.
Right.
You don't see there's a problem there?
Yeah, exactly.
I just completely fucked everything. Now you sound like we're the heroes.
Yep.
Who are just saving land for the great white race. I'm sorry. I mean, for America.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, I'm an anti-racist, so I was making a joke. As I was telling you before, like people could take some of my dumb comments I try to make to be sarcastic and act like I actually say that shit. Well, he said that. Motherfucker, I'd never said some dumb shit like that unless it was dumb. To explain how dumb you fucking sound when you fucking ass say, or to like give my feelings about America being a fucking white supremacist nation.
Yeah.
Christian nationalism nation, many times, even though some of the people that actually started it, would have been horrified to find out what the shit that they became.
Yeah.
But I find they were all horrid. The people in America were worshipped. It's ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah. It's whenever you see a story like that, it's very frustrating because they never address the fact that there were like in 1948 or whatever it is, when the Israelis moved, like Israel state was formed again, and they pushed people out of their homes to colonize it. Like it's not even that long ago, but they just completely cover over that fact. Right.
And then let's assume that we accept to accept and still show things wrong. Let's assume we accept that all of the stuff, because the UN actually said two-state solution, Israel can have this land, and the Palestinians can have this land, and Jerusalem will be run by the UN.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, even though they say Hamas actually wants the elimination of all Jews, this is not actually accurate. Again, no more at not. I do believe that Hamas is terrorists. I do not agree that they don't accept a two-state solution when they actually said, that they accept two-state solution going back to the 67 borders. I think it is top of my head or whatever.
Yeah.
So it like I said, the lies just fucking like intellectual dishonesty, man. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like with you when you have like Israeli officials acting like they're the victim when they're bombing Rafah, and like Hamas has agreed to a ceasefire, and like they've agreed to the peace talks, and Israel's the one that has declined it. So what do you like? How does that make any sense? But
it doesn't make sense. This whole, like I said, this whole thing. It doesn't make sense because if you even if you say fair, well then if you go bust one, you got to bust the other. It's just you can't say one's bad, but everyone's good. I mean, I do agree with you. Context actually would make me favor what you said.
Right.
Value wise, someone who's currently genociding people is using a genocidal possibly phrase. I don't know. That sounds worse as an anti-Palestinian than it does as an anti-Semitic one.
Seems like it to me, but yeah. So even if you say the phrase is the same on each level, right? Yeah, you can't say that the Palestinians are being racist, but the Israelis are not, right?
And certainly, like I said, value-wise, because that matters to everything. Yeah. But value-wise, even if they're both saying that, right? Even if we agree, okay, fine, they're both saying that. Which one's a current threat?
Yeah, yeah.
Axiologically, that's Israel. So say, well, if we focus on Israel, then we're called anti-Semitic, and that's insane. They're literally axiologically that is the choice. They say, you don't have a choice. Axiology. When you see value, you address it honestly. That's a value. That's not. That's hurting value. You mean? But I think in general, though, shouldn't most people try to be, ethically honest and it's ridiculous.
That is my perspective as well. I'm finding more and more that I must be in a very small group of people that believes like moral consistency, value consistency is.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So I feel like, well, in that sense, even though I do feel like all this is very hard and complicated, now you need to know a lot if you start talking about it. But value-wise, you don't even, once again, like I said, you don't even have to know any of that.
Yeah.
Who's being hurt right now? Doesn't even matter about anything. Who's being currently hurt right now? If our thing is harm reduction, we have to stop Israel. I mean, what the fuck? Anyways, so let's go to
the blog, eh?
So I drew a little picture, river to the sea, and then I showed how both people see the other people in a sense trying to say it. That's what the two sides are, like as if it's two exact sides. One saying they want Palestine only, and the other one saying they want the Jews only. And that's if we take it to where how they try to say it, right, and especially on the news, then that's what they're both saying.
Right.
I'm not saying that has to be the way we have to take it. I'm just giving an exaggeration. Like this is what their supposed argument is.
Right.
But I still agree with Corey. Then even if that was the case, then you have two equals. Now you look next. What other things could affect value? I don't know. One's committing mass fucking murder. Holy fuck! This is an important thing. I mean, just saying that's why I understand why I told you before. Why people act like morals are so fucking hard. If you really just put axiology and you say what things are going on, the conclusion should be reasonably the same, unless you're fucking a just dishonest person. Or you're not using any morals or ethics or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so once again, go to the picture.
Sure.
They're seeing the picture too. The Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River, as they talked about. That's what it means, but in a sense, was seen. But even let's just say that you took it as that. that would basically, if you limited only to that, it would only be, in a sense, northern Palestine. They wouldn't even be addressing southern Palestine, the river to the sea. I'm saying, I know that people try to act like, but the Jordan River is not that long. I'm sorry to break news to you. So, anyways, just if I'm just thinking. Another thing too is a lot of times the Bible uses, or the Israel, Hebrews or whatever in the Bible used to use the phrase, Canaan and the land of Canaan. Well, the land of Canaan was all over the place. So I mean, even in the Bible, like what, and so they act like the Bible's so accurate. Well, the Bible can't even get Canaan right. So, like, because sometimes it'll say almost from the river to sea or something like that, and sometimes it'll say almost just northern, like I already said, northern Palestine only, no southern at all. Oh, another fun fact. Remember I showed you before on the map, even at the height of, because they remember, suppose if, like Israel, the kingdom is what a lot of people think of as like what Jews own something.
Yeah.
And then there was a northern kingdom, and it was called Israel, and a southern kingdom called Judah. And anyways, but the northern kingdom would be the only one actually that relates to the river to the sea. The southern part, there's no, that's just nowadays putting that together, because anyways, like I showed you, even when they owned, in a sense, the full amount, the biggest of their empire, their unified empire, they didn't own Gaza ever. I mean, they never had control of Gaza ever. So I'm just saying, so even more so the fact that, like, he's now stomping his way trying to own Gaza. What else can he be possibly doing? He's not even just trying to attack, the Hamas. He literally attacked like most of the infrastructure, the buildings, the everything, leveled them. Then of course, to make it that is for sure, he brings in bulldozers to bulldoze streets and knock down buildings that haven't, already been literally, and then like, why cleaning it all out? Yeah. Like
make sure that, it's
like that looks like a defense to me.
Right. Like, it's like, not only do you need to destroy it and drive people out, but then you have to bulldoze it and make it so they cannot possibly come back. Like,
there's nothing that should come back to. They could put a tent down or something, But anyways, my point is, I'm saying that there's issues with all this. Even like I said, even if like we were to give somehow Israel everything it used to have, it still would not have any land rights to Gaza.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole section down in the southern.
I'm just saying, the people they act like just because the borders that they have now, somehow they have the right to own all those. States are so stupid. That's actually horseshit. And every state is a horseshit thing of how they did it. And like I said, really, if you say my country and you believe that nonsense, you believe a history of war, because it is war that brought you this concept of a state or a country. It is war that's kept that supposed state. And if you ever look at the borders of any states, man, they change a lot. That's what. So when they look at Israel says, "Oh, we always owned it." First off, you didn't always own it. You had it for like 3,000 years ago for about 400 years, and that was it. Then the Assyrians came, and the Babylonians came, and then then the Persians came. I'm trying to think of all of it now.
Right.
And then after, I'm just saying, it was never from then it was just, I can't remember now who comes next, but then Ottomans come. I mean, and then Britain comes. I mean, literally everything under the sun. So I'm just making a comment that it's also a stupid statement when they say, "Oh, we've always been here," or "This is like wrong." I mean, it's always been a Jewish state. No,
there's always been Jewish people in the area, but
well, at least 4,000 years, because like I told you, that it's a fact. DNA shows that everybody in that area, practically, like at least 90%, practically, or maybe a little bit less, but close to that, all come from, in a sense, north. But the South Caucasus Mountains, like the Caucasus Mountains, like, say Caucasian, the South Caucasus Mountain area, the Kurgal Axel culture is what related to the Canaanites. They came with burial things 4,000 years ago, and that's where and since, like in Lebanese, as I told you, actually is the only one. Like the Palestinians or the Jews or Israelis say that they're the ones. Actually, Lebanese are the only ones that are close to pure of these people that came 4,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm just saying. So there. So, but I also then find it even more ridiculous when Israel tries to take over Lebanon parts. Okay, they're the indigenous people for sure. They got like 93 or 90% or whatever of the original Canaanite DNA. So, yeah, trying to push them out seems really bullshit.
Yeah,
Anyways.
yeah. Which we talked more in depth on like one of the previous videos we did regarding this. So.
Right, yeah, because I seem to want to bring up all the history and facts. Bringing up history and facts like as in saying statements that sound great on paper, then you read no more, and it's like, yeah, it's not what. So let's do the river to the sea in the Bible, since I made the claim. Go ahead and read the verses.
So Genesis 17:7-8. It says, I will establish my covenant as an everlasting covenant between me and you and your descendants after you for the generations to come, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you. The whole land of Canaan, where you now reside as a foreigner, I will give as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants after you, and I will be their God.
Right. So even the Bible admits they were foreigners. And I'm telling you, DNA says 4,000 years ago, they were foreigners and show up. Guess where? Not southern Palestine, northern. Guess where the first evidence of what seems to be a separate Hebrew, Jewish, Israel, whatever you want to call it, people, from the rest of Palestine. Talking about all Canaanites were the same. So they also think, the Jews think that they're somehow magically from somewhere else. No. So so the ones in the north, they didn't want as fancy pottery. I think I talked to you about this before, maybe, I don't know. But they started making plain pottery because the rest of the Canaanites did too much art and they're plainer. So like, austere, like religious people. Like when they want to wear just one color or, it's right. So, and then they're really able to know because all Canaanites ate pigs. In fact, they even celebrated feasts to them. But this one area in North Israel again, or North Palestine, only. So, anyways, the people up there, because that's where they come from. Just going back to like where my point is, when because this is what I want to make, I guess, this point. I hear the Israelis have a right to their homeland, and I go, North Palestine.
Yeah,
what do you do in South?
Yeah,
you literally, it is true. Their origination or their culture is north. That's the evidence you see of the first no-eating pig, about 3,200 or something. About 3,000 is the oldest, in a sense, kind of Paleo-Hebrew writing that came from Phoenician or Proto-Canaanite, because they're Canaanites. Anyway, but I'm saying is that so going back to what I'm just saying. So when I do agree that I think the Israelis have, or whatever you want to call them, Jews, have some right to parts of Palestine. I do not agree that they have right to what they call the state, and it's all over the place. I do think that the North, but even before they took over, as you said, colonized other areas, if you look at a map of where most of the Israelis were, or Jews or whatever, in Palestine, right before Israel took off, most of them are in the north. Oh, you mean like where they were always from? Yes,
right.
Where they were always from.
Jeez,
okay. So they were always from the north. Anyways, I'm just saying. You get my point. So when they say, we have a right to assess their ancestral land. Okay, in the north.
Well, you're already there, so stop.
Yeah. Well, I'm just making it. No, but you don't want your ancestral land. You want other people's ancestral land, right? Yeah. And that this is not even me somehow being anti that they're allowed to have a part they can call their land. But I know where you guys from. Did we know from archaeology where you guys are from?
Yeah.
And even like I said, if you look at, because there's maps where they show, how less of Palestine kept happening, over the years or whatever. There's a thing that shows multiple pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it, where they even that map shows the Israeli population mainly was in the north. I'm just saying that literally is, I agree, their ancestral homeland, not the entire area.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just saying. So,
yep.
You know, fucking facts. And that's not, and I'm not saying that they can't be anywhere. Anyways, so go ahead and read the thing about Canaan and stuff. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. You want me to read some more of these Bible quotes? Yeah. So Psalm 72:8. He, king's rule, shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the river unto the ends of the earth. And then Deuteronomy 11:24. Every place where you set your foot will be yours. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, and from the Euphrates River to the Mediterranean Sea. And then Joshua 23:4. Remember how I have allotted as an inheritance for your tribes all the land of the nations that remain, the nations I conquered between the Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea in the west.
Right. And so you see what I'm saying about, doesn't that seem quite similar to, I don't know, the phrase?
Yeah, it consistently says the river and the sea. Over and over again.
Well, I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
The fact that nobody's ever brought up that it's in the Bible.
Yeah. That's funny.
Right. So once again, it just my knowledge, I'm just showing that, yeah. That's why I said it irritates me probably more than some people, because they hear it and they're like, oh, it's just a current issue. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much bullshit behind this.
Right. It's been there for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. They act like, the Bible is being anti-Semitic. Oh, no, you only mean it's only racism if it's against the Jews. Wait a minute.
Yeah, geez, eh?
But like I said, too, that they say Canaan or whatever. But anyways, keep reading.
Sure. So the land of Canaan, from the Hebrew, was promised to the Israelites.
By the way,
just
so you know, this is a Israeli site or Hebrew or Jewish or something site that I got this information. Just so you know, my point was to show that even they are showing that you can't really say that the Bible is coherent on what Canaan is. My point. Like when it says, I'm saying when they have the right to the land of Canaan.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I want you to read that, because this is, so I'm just saying, this is not like some biased person. This is like a Hebrew scholar or whatever.
Right.
So I'm just showing, you don't have to read every single word there, but just to get an idea that they're agreeing that term, it's, it's like a moving target.
Right. Yeah, so the name Canaan appears throughout the Bible as a geography associated with the promised land. The demonym Canaanites serves as an ethnic catch-all term covering various indigenous populations, both settled and nomadic pastoral groups throughout the regions of the southern Levant or Canaan. It is by far the most frequently used ethnic term in the Bible. Biblical scholar Mark Smith, citing archaeological findings, suggests that the Israelite culture largely overlapped and derived from Canaanite culture. In short, Israelite culture was largely Canaanite in nature. Canaan was a Semitic-speaking civilization and region of the southern Levant in the ancient Near East during the late 2nd millennium BC.
Right, so after 4000, which I had already told you.
Yeah, because before
by
that,
the way, we're going to do a thing on the land of Palestine or whatever, Israel. We're going to do eventually. I want to do the Americas first, but eventually we're going to do one where we just explain the whole thing.
Right. Okay.
So Canaan can.
Oh yeah, Canaan had significant geopolitical importance in the late Bronze Age, Amarna period, 14th century BCE, as the area where the spheres of interest of the Egyptian, Hittite, Mitanni, and Assyrian empires converged or overlapped.
Right, and to me, what people need to understand, I think, is the only reason why supposedly there was a Jewish state, monarchy, empire, whatever, before it got taken over, right? It's a couple hundred years. It didn't have much to do with Israel, had a fuck ton to do with the two major powers, which had been the Hittites and Egypt. They fought each other in Syria, right? and basically probably a draw. Both of them like had just kicked each other's ass, and the Hittites were done wanting to fight, and the Egyptians also were done wanting to fight. And so they basically said a DMZ is going to be Israel.
Okay.
And Lebanon, and it's probably Syria. But so it's going to be these three, in a sense, countries, whatever, in between us, so we don't fight each other. Because Turkey is where the Hittites were. I'm just saying, and Egypt was not. So they said there's going to be this thing. Well,
okay,
that allows Israel to even form, because otherwise it would have just been part of the Hittites or part of Egypt. It would
right.
It wouldn't have been Israel anything ever if this would not have happened. If these two things had not fought and signed, actually, I think I can't remember now if the UN or somebody has where a symbol of it, or like the actual thing, where the treaty between the first treaty in the world, like peace treaty, between one nation or whatever and another nation, the Hittites and the Egyptians, saying we're done fighting, and they wrote a treaty. Let's not, hate each other or whatever.
Right.
Let's have peace. And like I said, so that actually sets up the whole region differently. Even though to me, the Canaanites had already showed up 4,000 years ago. When they showed up, they were either under, in a sense, the Hittite control, speaking of which, Abraham, even I think in the Bible, says that he was buried in a Hittite grave, or his wife was. So they're already saying Hittites are in the area.
Right.
And they're there because they're controlling the area. Yeah, they're not like nice visitors, Anyways, or certainly threatening the area. Anyway, but my point is, so that I think that's also important to understand, is it really, to me, happened in a vacuum. And so they also then, get delusions of grandeur. Oh, we're so great because no one's, God's given us. Nah, actually, it was war. The people want peace that actually made your place possible. Yeah. Or they wouldn't even fucking know your place, in a sense, the way
this is happened. I think this is the trouble with like assigning it like a religious belief to it, right? Like, because you ignore the material reality that caused this state to exist.
Otherwise, because see, this is what the point is. The Hittites would have taken it as an act of war if all of a sudden, all the Egyptians moved north, close to Hittite territory.
Right.
And the same, the Egyptians would have taken it as an act of war if they would have gone and took over Israel, because then they know that more than likely your goal is to then use that as a base to jump in and take over, Egypt, or at least threaten them.
Yeah.
So my point is, I'm saying, so I feel like that when people don't mention that enough, because that it wouldn't even have been possible. It wasn't, like I said, my point is, it's not that they're greatness that all of a sudden they, were able to emerge. Yeah, you're able to emerge because two big states beat the fuck out of each other and decided, nah.
Yeah, like we've got this culture that just is like okay with the belief that like God granted them this land, right? Like, and you go, well, that's not how this worked. Like,
yes.
This
Right. So not only did they somehow escape from Egypt under slavery, that never happened. It also is not true that even that them being able to form their statehood, because supposedly, if you read the Bible, they wanted a king. And so God said, okay, you could, like, this is so fucking rude, like a child talking, but I'm just saying, okay, you can have a king if you need to. Why would God even agree to that? God, so I thought no one's supposed to be great but you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then how come this one king now can then violate, I don't know, the Bible? Because he's supposedly going to have multiple wives, like even the greatest king, whatever, had before David was Solomon or something. Anyways, had like 300 wives and 400 concubines, which is basically just chicks he fucked outside of marriage.
Yeah.
So, but wait a minute, isn't this the guy that supposedly God let happen? Anyways, so I'm just saying that their belief in how the Israeli kingship or whatever happened also is total nonsense. And I'm just saying they would have been, even at the most, a little chieftain for one of the other countries.
Right.
At the most, that would have been, their biggest hope would have been, because otherwise, like I said, but because the two biggest powers really didn't want to fucking go down there you were able to, grow, and then you thought, aha, see, I'm small, but I'm mighty because no one dares touch me. Hey, there's nothing to do with you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It's that's not the reason that's happening.
Yeah.
Was it correlation is not causation? Nah,
that's right. Yeah.
You may have felt lucky because, of course, as soon as those two powers weren't in, another powers, what did they do? They came or took over that area immediately.
Yeah.
In fact, every other power after that did that. And why there was never again, like a sense, a Jewish, thing,
right?
Because it was gone.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, because like you say, because it was literally the product of the environment of the states and their battles and whatnot throughout history. So,
right, and I'm not going to have you read all this stuff. There's a bunch of information about why the Bible's all over the place about Canaan. Because I was, but I don't want to take all the time. Let's go down. But just to know that people, if they want to read more in the blog, there's plenty that explains. Like I said, it's a Hebrew Jewish source or whatever. That it's showing that the Bible can't, as there is no definite of what the hell Canaan meant. So we're not going to read all that. We're going to go down to the first picture.
Yes,
just to go faster. And this is the statement in 1977 by the party that Netanyahu is, and of course Netanyahu himself has said almost this exact same phrase,
right?
Currently in this year, 2024. So I'm just
So this says the right of the Jewish people to the land of Israel is eternal and indisputable. Between the sea and the Jordan, there will only be Israeli sovereignty. So 1977, that was said.
Right. So not new and still being said. So like I said, it's a Zionist phrase. Why do they not mention it as such?
Yeah.
Let's say nothing changed. They believe all the rest are bullshit. That's a fact. You can't acknowledge the fucking fact.
Yeah.
I'm not making this shit up. I mean, so let's read Israeli or Jewish from the river to the sea. Let's go ahead and I want you to read this.
Okay. The precise origins of the phrase are disputed. According to American historian Robin D.G. Kelley, the phrase began as a Zionist slogan, signifying the boundaries of Eretz Israel. Israeli-American historian Omer Bartov notes that Zionist usage of such language predates the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 and began with the Revisionist movement of Zionism led by Vladimir Jabotinski, which spoke of establishing a Jewish state in all of Palestine and had a song which includes, "The Jordan has two banks, this one is ours and the other one too," suggesting a Jewish state extending even beyond the Jordan River. In 1977, the concept appeared in an election manifesto of the Israeli political party Likud, which stated that between the sea and the Jordan, there will only be Israeli sovereignty.
Right. So, why is that not mentioned, Corey?
Yeah, no, you don't hear anybody mention that at all.
Right.
It's very strange.
Right. So, not mentioned it's in the Bible when it is at least 4 times. Then literally it's a Zionist phrase, and I have not heard anybody the fuck say that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Doesn't that context kind of change how you hear it?
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck, come on. It totally does. And then, like I said, then even is more disgusting, right? And more dishonest when it's only stated as an anti-Semitic slogan.
Right. Yeah.
When this is a long-term Zionist one, then it was an anti-Palestinian slogan.
Right.
It's a fucking racist slogan to them, but you can't say that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's right. So I guess we've got Middle East scholar Elliot Kola says that the relevant historical context for understanding from the river to the sea is the history of partition and fragmentation in Palestine, along with Israeli appropriation and annexation of Palestinian lands. In his opinion, these include the 1947 UN partition plan for Palestine, which proposed to divide the land between the river and the sea, the 1948 Nakba, in which that plan materialized, the 1967 war in which Israeli occupied the West Bank and Gaza, the Oslo Accords that, in his view, fragmented the West Bank into Palestinian enclaves that he describes as an archipelago of Bantustans surrounded by Israeli settlements, bases, and checkpoints, and the Israeli separation wall, first erected after the Second Intifada. The phrase was also used by the Israeli ruling Likud party as part of their 1977 election manifesto, which stated, "Judea and Samaria will not be handed to any foreign administration. Between the sea and the Jordan, there will only be Israeli sovereignty." This slogan was repeated by Menachem Begin. Similar wording has also been used more recently by other Israeli politicians like Gideon Sa'ar and also Uri Ariel of the Jewish Home. In 2014, Ariel said, "Between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea, there will only be one state, which is Israel."
Right,
Sounds
like I said, so once again, it's not like this hasn't been a long-term known, Zionist thing. So it's even more, and I understand, like you didn't know, and the general public not knowing, but news people, come on.
Yeah, like where's the research being done by these people who are supposedly informing the public, right?
Right, and don't they have an ethical duty to do it? Like I said, now they can apologize. Watch this. And then I'm waiting for your apology and explaining that it's actually a Zionist phrase.
Yeah.
Doesn't that change the context? Talk about context.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. No, it changes it a lot. And especially it also puts into, in my opinion, it puts into like a lot of this rhetoric using that phrase really puts to bed any idea that the Israeli state was willing to do a two-state solution.
They never were.
They never
clearly state that. Well, and here's the thing. Let's just say that their dream came true. Once again, I'd like to still show how bad it is. Even if that thing happened, right? And even if we could all agree a one-state solution, it all has to be Israel, right? Which is ridiculous. But I'm just saying, even if we could say that, I would still say that you should be against Israel because they do not give in their sting total, equal rights to the Palestinians.
Yeah.
Nor, like I said, I'm not okay with any country that does bigoted shit like say you have to be of the Jewish faith or you can't emigrate.
Yeah.
What the fucking bigoted shit is that?
Yeah, that's absurd.
That's fucking absurd. I mean, even if someone was ridiculously pro the Israeli people or whatever, Jewish people, that doesn't mean their religion. There's plenty of Jews that are not. That some are Muslim, some are atheists, some are whatever. I'm just saying, it's fucking bull. And there's different kinds of Judaism, so they don't all have the same. It's the whole. I would always, even if everyone felt that Israel's okay, I would always say that's some fucking bullshit because it is done. It doesn't matter. So they're not getting some kind of a democratic hopeful that they always talk about in America. Oh, well, Israel's the only democratic hope in the region.
Right. This is not actually a democracy.
Democratic to you?
Yeah. This is not actually a democracy. Like an apartheid state is not a democracy.
So I'm just saying it literally is. We would have to be, even if it took over the whole area, we would have to be against it.
Yeah.
That's all I was trying to say logically.
Yep.
Even if you could accept they own all the area, okay, they own all their area, they can't treat people like that.
Exactly.
So you haven't somehow see once again the imaginary borders. Put a little fucking bow hat on you, imaginary borders of
it
doesn't somehow mean you can treat the people different.
No, that's right.
That's what I'm saying. It's an anarchist. I mean, I know some people really get all strung up about states, but as an anarchist, like I said, going back about which politician did what exactly, I see Bozo the Clown, and I don't have time to care about their fucking name. I'm sorry. It's like irritating to even have to care about them. Like I'd like to talk about productive things, But anyways, I know that's just me. And I know some people. I'm glad that some people focus on that because they can explain it like I explained this.
Right.
You do that. Because me, it's just.
Well, that's fine. Yeah,
I can't force myself to care about who these people are.
That's fair. Yeah.
But anyways, I know that's just me, but whatever. I have a weird thing about that, but let's keep going. So, anyways, we're back to the similar formations have been used by Zionists and Israelis. Oh, wow. Oh, back to the truth.
Yep. So Omer Bartov notes the song "The East Bank of the Jordan" by the revisionist Zionist leader Vladimir Jabotinski. Used the formation. And it's in Hebrew, so I can't read it.
Right, yeah.
But the Jordan has two banks. This one is ours, and the other one too. So the phrase appeared in a 2021 B'Tselem report entitled "A Regime of Jewish Supremacy from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea." This is still 2021 is very recent.
You think so, Corey? I mean, the fact that no video is like mentioning this, that like I said, 2024 even, yeah. Keep going.
So it said, the regime of Jewish supremacy from Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. This is apartheid, which describes Israel's de facto rule over the territory from the river to the sea through its occupation of the West Bank and the blockade of the Gaza Strip as a regime of apartheid. The Likud party used the formulation.
Going back to what I said. So even if we agreed they owned all the land, doing the apartheid, not okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Imaginary borders makes no fucking difference for acting unethical against the civilians.
Yeah, that's right. Like whatever you call the area that is that state, Palestine, Israel, two separate states, just the fact that there's a group of people who don't have human rights, that's not okay.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Likud party used the formulation between the sea and the Jordan, there will only be Israeli sovereignty. Most recently, this has been stated by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the 18th of January, 2024.
Right. So, yeah, which is at least the Canadians mentioned that he mentioned it.
Yeah.
But in America, we don't get even that version. Because they're pushing, the truth. I don't think so. Propaganda.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So now we'll get to the Palestinian river to sea. Oh, when did that happen?
So from the river to the sea is a political phrase that refers geographically to the area between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea, an area described as Palestine, which today includes Israel and the Israeli-occupied Palestinian territories, including the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and the Gaza Strip. The phrase was popularized during among the Palestinian population in the 1960s as a call for liberation from living under Israeli, Jordanian, and Egyptian control. In the 1960s, the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO...
They didn't mention that either, did they?
No, they didn't mention any of that stuff.
Dang, what? Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, so once again, give you just the bare half-truths.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
That's why I said you can imagine if you know all this and you hear him saying that nonsense on TV, you're like, it's like almost unbearable.
Yeah, no kidding. So in the 60s, the PLO, or Palestinian Liberation Organization, used it to call for an Arab state encompassing the entirety of mandatory Palestine, which was initially stated to only include the Palestinians and the descendants of Jews who had lived in Palestine before 1947. Although this was later revised to only include descendants of Jews who had lived in Palestine before the first Aliyah in 1881. Many Palestinian activists have called it a call for peace and equality after decades of Israeli military rule over Palestinians, while for most Jews it has been a clear demand for Israel's destruction. Islamist militant faction Hamas used the phrase in its 2017 charter. Usage of the phrase by such Palestinian militant groups has led critics to argue that it advocates for the dismantling of Israel and calls for the removal or extermination of the Jewish population of the region. An old Zionist slogan envisaged statehood extending over the two banks of the Jordan River, and when that vision proved impracticable, it was substituted by the idea of a greater Israel, an entity conceived as extending from the Jordan to the sea. The Palestinian phrase has also been used by Israeli politicians. The 1977 election manifesto of the right-wing Israeli Likud party said, between the sea and the Jordan, there will only be Israeli sovereignty. Similar wording, such as referring to the area west of the Jordan River, has also been used more recently by other Israeli politicians, including Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
And I know we said that before, but it's so important to keep saying it.
Yeah, that's right.
Because
on January 18th,
you're going to call it anti-Semitic.
Yeah, that's right.
Literally, your prime minister saying it the opposite way. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, on January 18th, 2024, he said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some countries have considered criminalizing the use of the phrase. On April 16th, 2024, the U.S. House of Representatives adopted a resolution condemning the phrase as anti-Semitic.
Ridiculous.
If the U.S. House of Representatives believes in a thing, then I believe the opposite. I'm just adopting that as a rule to live by now.
Yeah. Well, and obviously they normally don't get along, but they all got along on that nonsense.
Right. Yeah.
And like I said,
right.
Once again, if you were going to vote on that, right, Corey? Wouldn't you need to learn the information that we're explaining right now? Wouldn't that be helpful in the whole? Is it something?
Yeah, like the whole context surrounding the term and the use of it throughout history. Yep. Yeah. Seems like they should have known that.
So I find that to be either negligence, which I doubt, or just outright intentional, which makes it even fucking worse.
Yeah.
But it's probably what's going on.
Yeah, like it's like an intentional ignorance. Like they refuse to look at it, right?
Or I think that some may know and still push because of the narrative.
Yeah.
I do not believe that there's this many historians or people. I mean, I know I look at history a lot more than some people, so I don't blame, the general public for not knowing. But it's not like Damien is the only fucking historian. You know what I'm saying? Really?
Yeah. Where's the voices that are saying this stuff,
right?
You
get what I'm saying? Come on, the fuck. Why isn't
I bet there are lots of historians that are out there going like, what the fuck is all this stuff? And everybody just ignores them, or they go to these pro-Palestinian protests and get arrested.
You're just, being radical or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'm just, so that's why I say too, that because I do care about history and all this shit, I want to address it because I'm hearing the way it's being portrayed. I'm like, this is wrong. What the fuck? So keep going.
So Palestinian usage of this phrase is also unclear. Kelley writes that the phrase was adopted by the Palestinian Liberation Organization in the mid-1960s, while Elliot Kola notes that it is unclear when and where the slogan "From the River to the Sea" first emerged within Palestinian protest culture. In November 2023, Kola wrote that he had not encountered the phrase in either Standard nor Levantine Arabic in Palestinian revolutionary media of the 1960s and the 1970s, and noted that the phrase appears nowhere in the Palestinian national charters of 1964 or 1968, nor in the Hamas Charter of 1988. From the river to the sea.
Pause for a second.
Yeah.
So is that how we were taught, Corey?
That is not the impression that we got from that very objective CBC.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Even though you said you liked it better, and I said I did. I told you beforehand that was better. Still, it was
better, but still not good. Yeah.
Still not good. Yeah. Because it still gives you wrong impressions of many things.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. The translation of Min Nahir ila la Bahir, Philistine sa Tata Harar, is the version that has circulated among English speakers expressing solidarity with Palestine since at least the 1990s. The 1964 charter of the PLO's or the PLO's Palestinian National Council, called for the recovery of the usurped homeland in its entirety. The 1964 charter stated that Jews who are of Palestinian origin shall be considered Palestinians if they are willing to live peacefully and loyally in Palestine. I'm sorry, that doesn't sound genocidal to me. That sounds like they're like, if you are a person who lived here or a descendant from these, then you can live here. That's what it sounds like to me.
So saying that it was formed as hate. Remember that one guy in the first video that this is hate?
Yeah. It's literally not.
And then even worse, he goes, if you knew the background. Yeah, if you explain the background, we would be questioning what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. We're learning the background here, and it's clearly not about hate.
Right. Well, I'm just right. So when that guy, so also remember the bullshit even in the second video, I think it was, because I forget the videos now, so I may be wrong, but
right,
where he said, well, they wanted to push us into the sea. Is that what it said?
Yeah. No, it doesn't say that at all. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, so I'm just saying once again, aren't they in a sense the way that they're promoting it, leading you to hate?
Yeah.
The Palestinians.
That's right.
And to think that only the Jews are being harmed.
Yeah. That's the idea, right?
So I'm just saying, I find it to be possibly malicious. You know, I don't know everybody's intent, but it's ending up malicious.
It seems malicious. Yeah.
Because like I said, if you just explain the actual facts about all this, it doesn't sound like what the fuck both those videos were doing.
Yeah. No,
like, wait a minute. You could have retold that whole video done differently, right? If you would have started with these as the headlines of your facts.
Yeah, that's right.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I felt it was important to do this video and address this.
For sure. Yeah, like this is not stuff that I think most people realize, right?
Right. Even I think some of us leftists should know about it, may not know about it, because then you can fight back better.
Yeah.
Look at these fuckers. Not only are they full of shit, literally it's their fucking phrase. And then even when it was first used by the people, it wasn't not used as a terrorism way. No,
right.
This is literal revisionism.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah. So that section was in the National Council in the charter in 1964, specifically defining Palestinian as those who had normally resided in Palestine until 1947. In the 1968 revision, the charter was further revised, stating that Jews who had resided normally in Palestine until the beginning of the Zionist invasion would be considered Palestinian. In 1979, the phrase was invoked by delegates attending the Palestinian Congress of North America. The concept of "from the river to the sea" has appeared in various pro-Palestinian protest chants, typically as the first line of a rhyming couplet. Kola notes that activists of the First Intifada, 1987 to 1993, remember hearing variations of the phrase in Arabic from the late 1980s onwards, and that the phrases have been documented in graffiti from the period in works such as Salih Abdal-Jawad's it's in another language.
I know it's in the blog. Yeah. If you can't read you know me, like especially like when we get to the complex hunter gatherers, there's a Native American name. We're gonna try. It's like Kawa 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 Kawa. That's the name. Like,
right.
Oh, I know. But I said this show, like we're doing right. The goal is not like teaching history where we get every little fact, or say a phrase whatever correctly. I mean, I try to. We suck, but the really goal that we're activists is the activism stuff. That's why I told you in general. I like to use history because it's true, and not only just teach people stuff, but also show how that relates. Like you said, context. Once you get the history and context, that changes a lot of what's going on, and then you really see what they're saying is terrible.
Yeah. So then, and Julie Petit's book, The Writings on the Walls, Graffiti of the Intifada, 1996, the phrase appeared in a 2021 B'Tselem report entitled A Regime of Jewish Supremacy from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea. This is apartheid, that describes Israel's de facto rule over the territory from the river to the sea through its occupation of the West Bank and the blockade of the Gaza Strip as a regime of apartheid. Hamas, as part of a revised 2017 charter, rejected any alternative to the full and complete liberation of Palestine from the river to the sea, referring to all areas of former mandatory Palestine and by extension the end of the Jewish sovereignty of the region. Islamic Jihad declared that from the river to the sea, Palestine is an Arab Islamic land that is legally forbidden from abandoning any inch of, and the Israeli presence in Palestine is a null existence, which is forbidden by law to recognize. Islamists have used a version, Palestine is Islamic from the river to the sea. The phrase was used as part of its 2017 revised platform, where they state Hamas rejects any alternative to the full and complete liberation of Palestine from the river to the sea, along the lines of the 4th of June 1967. Among the materials recovered by American forces during the killing of al-Qaeda founder Osama bin Laden was a speech addressed to the American people in which bin Laden proposed economic and security guarantees in exchange for a roadmap that returns the Palestine land to us, all of it from the river to the sea. It is an Islamic land not subject to being traded or granted to any party. On September 27, 2008, Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah stated at a rally, Palestine from the river to the sea is the property of Arabs and Palestinians, and no one has the right to give up even a single grain of earth or one stone, because every grain of land is holy. The entire land must be returned to its rightful owners. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi in 2023 used the phrase saying, the only solution is a Palestinian state from the river to the sea, meaning that the only solution to the conflict would be a Palestinian state encompassing all of Israel and the Palestinian territories. In 2003, the Iraqi President Saddam Hussein, during a speech commemorating the anniversary of the Iraqi army's establishment, referred to the Palestinian people and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, stating, "Long live Palestine, free and Arab from the river to the sea."
So pause for a second. Do you know what, I've talked about this before, but I know not everybody knows this. Do you know what Arab is?
Not specifically.
So Arab has to do with Saudi Arabia, like Arab Arabia.
Okay.
So when you say you're Arab, what it really means is you were a tribe from Saudi Arabia that probably during the Muslim conquests went into Palestine and North Africa and Syria and Iraq and I can't remember where else, but Jordan. They went like the whole area. They in Lebanon probably. I mean, they went all over.
Okay.
So, like when people say, so that's the same thing we talked about before about the DNA. Like, so most the Israelis who are in the area are 50% Canaanite, and most of the Palestinian, people that are not considered Jewish or whatever, they are 50% also, but not the same situation.
Okay.
So 50% of the Jewish are from Europe. Basically, some, because Yiddish can be traced back to East Turkey, which is real close to the southern Cossack Mountains, which they originally also where people came from 4,000 years ago. So that, which is interesting. I don't think they're directly related. I don't know. But the people went like up there. They went some other places too in Europe. But the point is, 50% is kind of Europe, and then 50% is Canaanite DNA related. DNA. And then the Palestinians have 50% Canaanite DNA, and then they have generally some portion of North African sometimes, and Arab, which is from Saudi Arabia directly. So it depends. They can have more or less of North Africa. Generally, the higher portion is Arabic, and a lot of them trace, even people in Palestine, in Gaza, whatever, trace their lineage to a certain tribe in Arabia.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia, I'm talking about.
Right.
And they came in within like 1,000 or 800 years ago. I can't remember. Some of them. It just depends. Some could have came in, in 1500, or maybe it was 14 or 13. Can't remember. But 100, whatever, to that area. But a lot of the ones definitely have came way later.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm just saying, but that's the DNA. Like I told you, if you look at who is 100% or close to it, Canaanite related DNA, that's the Lebanese.
Right.
And like I said, and they, all of them of that related DNA came 4,000 years ago or so because some people came later, and maybe that's also could have been the ones that are Jews, because I don't agree that all Jews were there 4,000 years ago. That's not, just so people understand. I'm not claiming that. I know that those kind of related people started coming
right
at 4,000 or so.
Yeah, is it a mistake to think of like the people 4,000 years ago as directly the same people that we are talking about now, right? Like that's a mistake.
Well, that could be also true. But what I meant is that, in other words, for 500 years they kept coming.
Okay.
I haven't done enough research specifically on that area to tell you confidently that I know that they came from a later thing. I know that they seem to evolve at a later time than the originals. So either they were there already, or they came within maybe 500 years later, and then they were different, of course, and that's why they felt different. Which I mean, would make more sense. Okay, and that's more reason they felt different, even though they literally were kind of not different. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I don't know that part. So, but I'm just saying, could it be? I don't, because I know that they kept coming. People kept coming. So it's not like even to say this. There's different kinds of people who are Jewish. There's different DNA even for Jewish people. So one could be there and then other ones not or something. I'm just saying that doesn't mean that just because because DNA, when you get down to the facts of DNA, it's a lot different on what people are. Anyways, my point is I'm just saying that there's 50% and 50%, so it's already, to me, like I told you. And then you're talking about, because some of that is about Palestinians as people, and some of that is about Arabs, which is a different issue.
Okay.
Do people from Saudi Arabia really own all the areas? Does that really make sense?
Yeah.
But I told you too, people are already there. You can't somehow harm everybody because of a past harm. I feel, because that was, you figure out what is the amenable solutions, or anyways.
Yeah.
So I like I told you, but there should be working towards people's rights and freedoms. I mean,
yeah, if I'm going to put it into a context related to say North American colonialism, the fact that the indigenous people were here for 5,000 years would be irrelevant, because when we came over 400 years ago, we murdered everybody and moved in. Right? It doesn't matter how long they were here.
It destroyed their culture.
Yeah.
Outlawed their religion.
Yeah.
I mean, outlawed their languages. I mean, it just took their children from them. I mean,
yeah.
Fuck. I mean,
the fact that they were here for a long time, they could have been here for 100 years, and it would still be wrong for us to come in and murder a bunch of people and turn them into criminals.
Even if they were immigrants. Right. Fuck that. I'm not for non-killing people. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Forcing them to do shit. I'm an anarchist. That really doesn't appeal to. What the fuck is that shit?
So when we think about Palestine, right? Sure, maybe your descendants, your ancestors were there long before this guy's ancestors were there, but you're pushing him out of his fucking house and killing his family.
Which is, like I said, that told you. That's why, to me, it's all bad. That's why I was real happy when I saw that they charged both. I wish they charged America, but they charged both Hamas leader and the Israeli leader as being terrorists. I was like, that's how I see it. Yeah. Both are doing it wrong. That doesn't mean everybody in Palestine or even everybody Israeli. Right. To me, I mean, but these people are. Yeah. I mean, I don't care what your position is. These people are doing it. And like I said, the fact that America would go, oh, yeah, well, Netanyahu shouldn't be there. Are you high? What the fuck? You got you and
they are high.
No, I think that they're literally intentionally hiding shit. I mean, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
No, because what the fuck? Your humanity is gone, I guess. Fucking
yeah. No, it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's sickening, really. But anyway, so enough of that. There's more to read. I don't want to go on to that because you notice there's a bunch.
Yeah, there's lots here. And
and this good is it hate speech? Let's read because now we know what some of the background. There's way more, so people can read. But
yeah.
So
is the from the river to the sea hate speech? From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free is a slogan echoing through pro-Palestinian rallies across the United States and elsewhere, including those observed on the campuses of the University of Southern California and the University of California, Los Angeles. This week, like all aspects of the Middle East conflict, the phrase is polarizing and interpretations may vary. For the Anti-Defamation League, however, it's clear what it connotes to the Jewish people, a vast majority of whom have an intrinsic tie between their Judaism and the state of Israel. From the river to the sea means eradicating that piece of land and all Jewish life.
See, pause for 1 second.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is this bullshit about saying Judaism and the state of Israel are together?
Yeah. No, it's just...
So now anyone that says something against the state of Israel says a bigot against the Jewish faith,
right?
So, but there are Jews that don't agree.
So
with the state of Israel. So I mean, it's just
and
it's just you're once again now. I'm just saying a next level bullshit. The other bullshit was. It's because of whatever. Now they were saying it's religion. You're attacking our religion if you attack state of Israel. That's
right. Yeah, Judaism.
Who cares about this? This is an unnecessary thing. The intrinsic tie between their religion and the state.
Yeah. From the river to the sea means eradicating that piece of land and all Jewish life, says Jeffrey Abrams, the ADL's Los Angeles regional director. That's what we saw on October 7th by Hamas, a terrorist organization which committed the greatest atrocity against the Jewish people since the Holocaust.
For the Adam, that's the dumbass.
That's the guy.
Yeah, I guess. Like I told you, I fucking. Just good fucking foolishness, saying dumb fucking crap.
Yeah, no kidding.
It doesn't, and since he's so, informed, how come he doesn't mention, well, it's a Zionist phrase and, it's in our Bible, but.
Because it doesn't play to the narrative they need.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead and read for context.
Yeah, for context, the state of Israel and the Palestinian territories lie between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. The river, spanning over 200 miles, forms a natural border between the Jewish state, the Palestinian-controlled West Bank, and neighboring Jordan and Syria. The ADL and other Jewish advocacy groups insist that From the River to the Sea is blatantly anti-Semitic and crosses the line between freedom of speech and hate speech. They argue that those who chant it, it's just dishonest. It's so dishonest. Like, it's just obviously not
especially true. When you learn more, right? And then you're like, hey, all right, this is, and you should know better, fuckers.
Yeah. They argue that those who chant it are advocating for genocide rather than simply supporting the plight of Palestinians, which is just bullshit. So not true, says Palestinian American writer and political analyst Yosef Monayer. When we talk about from the river to the sea, we're talking about a place that we call home. Monayer told the CBC. He argues that the phrase expresses a desire for Palestinian independence and freedom, not the eradication of Jews. From the river to the sea today, there is one state, an Israeli state, that rules over millions of people. Palestinians who don't have equal rights, who are not free. That's what has to change. It doesn't mean that there should be any violence against Israelis, he says. What many Jews hear, of course, is something different. Their belief that the phrase is anti-Semitic is shared by many political leaders who can point to its adoption by Hamas over a decade ago. Palestine is ours from the river to the sea and from the south to the north, Khaled Mashal, the militant group's former leader, said in 2012 speech in Gaza, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the founding of Hamas. There will be no concession on any inch of the land.
I still don't even if how do you say that someone, even if they say they want the land, and I'm not saying that even I would support they own all the land. My point is, and how does that equal genocide?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. I don't know. I just find it incredibly dishonest to expect people who are being oppressed to follow your rules about how they're supposed to behave and the things that they're supposed to say.
Well, to me, if you're going to say something is bigoted, it helps it to actually be bigoted.
Yeah, that's right. When Representative Rashida Tlaib, a Democrat from Michigan, used from the river to the sea in speeches and on social media last year, she was censured by the U.S. House of Representatives. In October 2023, Vienna police banned a pro-Palestinian demonstration citing the phrase "from the river to the sea," mentioned in invitations and characterizing it as a call to violence. In the United States, law enforcement and universities have largely avoided addressing whether the slogan constitutes hate speech that incites violence, focusing instead on the actions of the protesters rather than their words. At USC, demonstrators were removed for pitching tents and erecting banners, which violates the private school's policy. Activists at UCLA, however, were unchecked as they took over a large plaza on the public university's campus with tents and barricades and displayed signs with the slogan. While the ADL condemns the use of the "from the river to the sea," Abrams says his organization is more concerned with these disruptions on college campuses and the threats, both real and perceived, targeting Jewish students.
Well, I think it's perceived.
Yeah, no,
if it was real, then here's the fact: Jewish students would have already been harmed.
Yeah, and they weren't.
I mean,
yeah,
you can't say that they could have been when they have. Nobody has been. That's just
exactly.
That's a fucking fallacy. What the fuck?
Yeah. He says it's not an issue of free speech. With free speech, there are obligations to each other, he says. Just because one group has a right doesn't mean they have the right to trample on the rights of others, which unfortunately is what's been happening across our country when it comes to the rights of Jewish students on these campuses. And that's just not true at all. That's just a lie.
Like I said, if some people were being hurt, then they would be hurt. He once again going back to perceive, meaning it's not happening, but I have a fantasy world that it is happening, and that scares me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, so now we have to make laws because people are scared of things that are not happening?
I mean, we kind of do that already, right? So people are afraid of homeless people, so they can't be on the street, you know.
I know when they say they do new legislation to combat homelessness in America, it's never that we're going to help them.
No, it's always just
outlawed them.
Yeah, it's illegal to sleep on the street now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
In a just world, you know, would that really be the case? That when you mentioned the term combating homelessness, that it wasn't somehow like an evil thing where you outlaw them being in existence and yet being poor.
Yeah.
Like the fuck?
Yeah, it's so fucked up.
I mean, it sounds like combating homelessness. It sounds like, okay, I can get it, but oh my, what? It's like beyond, it's worse than, it's like, oh yeah, things are bad. Let's call it this and let's make it worse.
Yeah, that's right.
Like when they destroy all the people's property and shit, or confiscate and throw in all the garbage or whatever.
Yeah. Burn their tents and
how
destroy
is this
their
okay?
fucking
Their literal property, even if this, or trespassing. Okay, even if I could buy that, they can't leave with their property.
Right? No, they have to leave, and we get to confiscate their shit.
Yeah, how is that acceptable? Anyways, yes, Corey, you and me in states, yeah.
Yeah, this is all garbage. It's all
not
garbage.
A fan.
Not a fan. Yeah. Some politicians and advocacy groups, such as the Anti-Defamation League and the American Jewish Committee, consider the phrase to be anti-Semitic, hate speech, and incitement to genocide, suggesting that it denies the right of Jews for self-determination in their ancestral homeland, or advocates for their removal or extermination. Such critics of the phrase claim that it has been explicitly used to call for the land to be placed entirely under Arab rule at the cost of the state of Israel and its Jewish citizens. ADL Regional Director Jonah Steinberg stated that from the time of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War and thereafter, there was a catchphrase of pushing the Jews into the sea, and a phrase from the river to the sea echoes that trope in a menacing way. No, none of that's true.
What? Because you already read the truth, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And it wasn't that.
It wasn't that.
But you see how so we can't take that as an accidental, because we look at the real history and that's not what it says.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And so he's like, oh, from the beginning of when we were there, they did it. What motherfucking liar? You were always using that shit.
Even calling the Nakba in 1948 an Arab-Israeli war is a lie. It was not a war. You forced them out of their homes. Unbelievable.
So taking their, so we know they're liars. So taking what their opinions are, to me, it's like they already show that they actually can't be trusted.
Exactly.
But even if we did trust them, their arguments are still bullshit.
Yep. Yeah. We can't trust them, and they use bad arguments.
See, there you go. Well, I was going to say that's what people understand. That I never agree with skepticism. For me, skepticism is either a idea that all ideas are open to challenge and change upon valid and really reliable reason and evidence. Like science does all the time. So that's my general standard of what I do everything. So that's when I say I have methodological skepticism. For me, that's what it means, that all ideas are open. But that also goes to, I told you before, to the ideas I'm similar. Fallibilism. I already understand. We like to think we're perfect, but we're not. So we're fallible. And that's also where, even if I make a mistake, I want to be, I told you before, even openly, I want to say I'm wrong. Right. It's a healthy thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Good behavior. Anyway, and that's why now these people, right, should be, because they're honest, I'm hoping, right? The ADA and all this guy, please watch this and address your errors, starting with, if you're going to talk about what history is, please explain, I don't know, the history you don't like that it's a Jewish slogan.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel like you would learn anything?
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of this confirms things I already thought, but with evidence rather than just my opinion.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, and that's always a good thing. I'm just just like all the stuff. It's why I know so much is because I demanded that I know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have the Graham Hancock mentality of just find a few things and just kind of make shit up, or even just use other people's ideas and just tweak a little few things.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I don't know. want to know the truth. That's
yeah,
crazy.
like that's I guess in a sense I've always kind of wanted to be a person who believed the true thing. And so like when I see things like this guy who's saying like this was talking about pushing the Jews into the sea, and I'm like, but I've never heard anybody say that. So where did that come from? And then we go through the history and it's like nobody's ever said that. That's completely fabricated.
It is.
So
right. It's like, that's what I'm saying. So it's to the point of you're getting false history, just like why I have a problem, like I said, with Graham Hancock stuff.
Yeah.
You're not you think you're learning history from them, but you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Which is counterproductive,
worse.
right?
That's worse.
It's like
now you think you're informed and you're not. So how many Jewish people think they're on the right side? Legitimately, I mean, they're not legitimate in thinking that, but I mean, they legitimately think it because they are believing this.
Yeah.
That they are being presented the truth, and this is what it is. So here's a question. Are they Jews scared on campus because of the rhetoric other Jews in power have been saying?
Yep.
To scare the fuck out of them? Because, I mean, look at that one video. They're showing like things, and they're talking about executing Jews. So then, of course, if a Jew hears it, holy shit, I'm scared. Well, yeah. But it wasn't the Palestinians that made you have that, in a sense, thing.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it was never the pro-Palestinian movement that was like saying we will kill, people. It was always the leaders on the Israeli side, the Zionists, saying, no, this is what they want to do.
Yeah.
It's like conservatives watching Tucker Carlson being afraid of the caravan at the southern border, right?
I think it's exactly like that. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying is I could see how, some people could be misinformed, because just think, if you wanted to, you think it's trustable, so you listen to Jewish only sources, holy fuck, you're being programmed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, and you think you're learning the history, and you're literally not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you too now can go out and make a video and explain or write that how you now realize that you're in error, and that actually how it's being taught with these supposedly trustable Jewish sources are not trustable. Because if this is the real truth, that they're not saying it, they're not trustable.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not my opinion.
No, it's just a fact.
It's a fucking brute fact, man. It's like science, brute fact. This is a absolute fact.
Yeah.
Once again, Corey, I'm sure in the big scheme of things, that doesn't surprise you.
No, but
having the confirmation does help.
Yes, that's right.
But I mean, just imagine an argument now, like Armin or whatever. I'm sure he's probably blocked me because I have to keep saying shit about him. But quit saying shit, and I won't have to say shit about you.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see him thinking that he's gonna like win the debate with me or something on the river to the sea, and just get his ass handed to him.
Yeah, that's right.
Because and even like I said, I could see where that could mistake. If you listen to just Jewish sources or conservative, like you said, sources, you would literally think you're correct.
Yeah. 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 It reminds me of like, I don't know, every debate, on the about kids on college campuses, pretty much, right? Like when everybody was worried about the free speech crisis on campuses because students were disinviting speakers, or they were protesting speakers that they didn't like. And there's people that, because of the sources they listened to, they thought that like these kids held all this power, these students held all this power, and were like forcing people to do what they wanted and not say things that they didn't want to hear said. And it's,
well, if you ask me, the violence occurred when the police showed up.
It usually
started doing the fucking violence.
Yeah.
So the threat everyone should have been worried about was the police, as we keep saying. So.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like that's also a reoccurring theme on the show.
Power sucks, and people that have it love to abuse the shit out of it.
Yep, that's right.
But Damien, you're saying the cop can't be a good person? They could. They choose not to.
That's right. They could. As long as they're wearing that badge, they keep on choosing the wrong side.
Well, and then their behavior. Look at their behavior. Look
Yeah.
at, even if we were on their side, how could we be okay with that? No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So could they? I suppose, but you don't. So,
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So, anyways,
yeah,
let's keep going. I know,
okay.
Slog through all this, but it's important because I think that it gives the important context to all of this that I feel is completely lacking.
Yeah, it lays out like the various like the real history as well as much of the propaganda that's being put out.
Yeah.
So Stephen Lubert wrote in an opinion piece on The Hill that if the people promoting this slogan were really interested in freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence, as they claim, then they would have changed the slogan to "From the river to the sea, Palestinians will be free." Wait, they did that.
Oh, dang it.
Lubit also says that according to DEI
Corey
norms,
laughs like the irony is too thick.
yeah, that's right. It's what? Wait, come on.
Well, so there's a person who's real informed.
Yeah, no shit, eh? He's been paying attention for a long time, I'm sure. Lubit also says that according to DEI norms, which I think he means diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Oh, probably.
The racism of a certain speech can be determined not only by the intent of the speaker, but mainly by the impact it has on the people who feel offended or threatened by it. Therefore, he concludes, since most Jews view the slogan as hurtful and threatening, it should be avoided, regardless of what the real intent is of its chanters. According to Susie Linfeld, in an interview in Salmagundi magazine, there's nothing wrong with both Jews and Palestinians pursuing national self-determination. In her opinion, the slogan "From the river to the sea" represents a rejectionist unwillingness to compromise with the other nation in a two-state solution, which led the Palestinian leadership to reject the partition plan in 1947. You mean the one that they were being forced into? Yeah. Ended in them losing everything so far. On the 9th of November 2023, Claudine Gay, the president of Harvard University at the time, condemned the phrase. On 17th of April 2024, Minouche Shafik, the president of Columbia University at the time, said that she herself hears the phrase as anti-Semitic, but some people do not. On the 16th of April 2024.
Who cares how people are hearing it? Is it actually?
Right, yeah. What's the history here?
Which we already explained.
Yeah. They just refuse to acknowledge it is all.
Or like I said, even be more of a dishonest that, okay, so if that's racist, it's racist then when the Zionists are using it. So Zionists are also, you would admit, are doing racism. Well, no, can't be against Israel. Oh yeah. So it's not about racism.
Yeah, that's right.
Got it.
On the 16th of April, 2024, the U.S. House of Representatives approved a decision that condemns the chant as anti-Semitic with a majority of 377 against 44. Woof. That's gross.
Yeah. And like I said, and I'm sure that they presented all this information that I did, right? Or even the highlights of what I did, right?
Right. I'm sure they
mentioned it was in the Bible, just in case people forget that one too.
Yeah, yeah. Oxford researcher Ahmad Khalidi has responded to those who characterize it as genocidal. It is perfectly possible for both people to be free between the river and the sea. Is free necessarily in itself genocidal? I think any reasonable person would say no. Does it preclude the fact that the Jewish population in the area between the sea and the river cannot also be free? I think any reasonable person would also say no. Palestinian American writers such as Yusuf Munayr and University of Arizona professor Maha Nassar have written that accusations that the phrase is a call to genocide rely on racist and Islamophobic assumptions about Palestinian intent. Nadia Abu al-Hajj notes that critics who characterize it as threatening, intimidating, or a call to genocidal violence when it is used in support of Palestine do not make equivalent claims when used by Israelis. Yeah.
Oh, I've kind of been making
kind of the same thing you've been saying the whole time.
Well, especially since literally the Jews invented it, and then the Jews say they don't like it when other people use it.
Yeah.
I mean, the hypocrisy of that. Doesn't that seem a little bit hypocritical to you?
For sure.
The thing that we invented, you can't use.
Yeah, that's right. In describing the criticism of the phrase, scholar of politics in the Arab world Elliot Kola writes, "It is the first phrase of the slogan, from the river to the sea, that has caused so much fury. Dominant Jewish communal institutions, most prominently the ADL and the AJC, have insisted that this phrase is anti-Semitic. Throughout recent years, they have composed new definitions of anti-Semitism that render many common expressions of Palestine solidarity as ipso facto instances of anti-Jewish hate speech. The slogan, from the river to the sea, figures prominently in their accusations of anti-Semitic doublespeak." In 2021, over 200 scholars in the various fields signed the Jerusalem Declaration on Anti-Semitism. The declaration discussed common manifestations of anti-Semitism, as well as what kinds of speech and behavior are anti-Semitic, and what kind of speech and behavior are not, especially regarding the Palestine-Israel conflict. According to the authors, between the river and the sea is not anti-Semitic.
Oh, God damn it. 200 scholars, stop it.
What? No.
Oh,
no,
so
no.
Damien's bigoted and wrong. I'm sure that is Armin's, thoughts, right?
Uh-huh.
He's like, he's a Zionist, and he's an atheist Zionist, which is like also very bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, Israel, which is like a Jewish religion state, and then you're an atheist, which also is bizarre. But anyways, it's also bizarre because he would say shit like it's anti-Semitic or whatever, I'm sure. And literally it's not. And yeah. And how do I know it's not? Oh, let's see. I don't know, the 200 scholars?
Yeah, that certainly puts some evidence forward for the case that it is not.
Well, me and Corey already came to that conclusion anyways, but the 200 scholars helps.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, it helps.
Sure.
It does help. Anyways, now so anti-Semitism. Go ahead and just read the first paragraph part. We don't have to read. There's all kinds of other stuff.
Okay.
I just want the general gist of this from Wikipedia.
Okay, so anti-Semitism, also spelled anti-Semitism or anti-space Semitism, is hostility to, prejudice towards, or discrimination against Jews. This sentiment is a form of...
Does that say the state of Israel?
No, it just says Jews. Or,
oh, damn it.
I mean, I might have wrote it as the Jewish people if it was...
I didn't write that, but yes. But that's a good point. But my point is, didn't change anything, right?
No.
It literally, so like what I said, when someone asked on an atheist thing, someone had asked a question, and probably just wanted to know, said, is it anti-Semitic to be anti-Israel? And I said, no, because Israel is a state.
Yeah.
And Jewish people are people, and you can be bigoted against a people, but being against a state is your preference.
That's not, it's not the same as being bigoted against people. Like it's just not.
It's not. It is not.
They're just different things.
It just isn't. And that's why I said, when they were using the thing and saying it was, no, you can be against every state in the world. Like I currently am.
Kind of am, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of good. So then I must be a bigot, I guess, to them, to everywhere, right?
That's right. I'm a bigot against Russians. I'm a bigot against Americans. I'm a bigot against
Well, but I'm saying because they present a straw man, a stupid argument that isn't even true, and they don't really have any good support for it, and then it keeps falling down from there.
Yeah.
But
so this sentiment is a form of racism, and a person who harbors it is called an anti-Semite. Primarily,
and we addressed that it's a form of racism.
Yeah.
So we're so far. I seem like I'm pretty on track.
Yep, that's right. Primarily, anti-Semitic tendencies may be motivated by negative sentiment towards Jews as a people, or by negative sentiment towards Jews with regard to Judaism. In the former case, usually presented as racial anti-Semitism, a person's hostility is driven by the belief that Jews constitute a distinct race with inherent traits or characteristics that are repulsive or inferior to the preferred traits or characteristics within that person's society. In the latter case, known as religious anti-Semitism, a person's hostility is driven by their religion's perceptions of Jews and Judaism. Oh, you mean Christians?
Yeah.
Typically encompassing doctrines of supersession that expect or demand Jews to turn away from Judaism and submit to the religion presenting itself as Judaism's successor faith. Yeah, literally Christians. This is a common theme within the Abrahamic religions. The development of racial and religious anti-Semitism has historically been encouraged by the concept of anti-Judaism, which is distinct from anti-Semitism itself.
Oh, wait a minute. What was the clarification they got wrong? Also, as I said, when they try to say religion also is against the people, and I'm like, no, that's not right. Because see, look, you can be anti-Judaism, but yet not anti-Semitic. Oh my God.
That's right.
Yeah, they just want to put all things together. Anything that they don't like, as you said, my perception. Anything that I don't like it's all bad, and I get to say it. Anyways, let's go down to the anti-Palestinianism.
Okay.
By the way, there's more people can go read. We're just kind of going to skip through some of this.
Yeah.
Because there's like so much stuff that I want to talk about.
So anti-Palestinianism or anti-Palestinian sentiment is also called anti-Palestinian racism. Refers to prejudice, collective hatred, and discrimination directed at the Palestinian people for any variety of reasons. Since the mid-20th century, the phenomenon has largely overlapped with anti-Arab racism and Islamophobia, due to the fact that the overwhelming majority of Palestinians today are Arabs and Muslims. Historically, however, anti-Palestinianism was more closely identified with European anti-Semitism, as far-right Europeans detested the Jewish people as undesirable foreigners from Palestine. Modern anti-Palestinianism, that is xenophobia with regard to Arab people of Palestine, is most common in Israel, the United States, and Lebanon, among other countries. Pakistani author and professor Sunaina Mehra, citing American professor of Islamic studies Shahzad Bashir in the context of labeling states, quote, an important aspect of anti-Palestinianism, that is, the moral panic whipped up about the radicalization of Muslim and Arab American youth, is often accompanied by the charge that they are automatically anti-Semites if they are critical of the Israeli state policies, end quote.
Yeah.
So calling students or pro-Palestine activists anti-Semitic because they criticize Israel is a form of racism that is called anti-Palestinianism.
Yep. You got it. So there is racism occurring.
Yes.
It's not the one they're talking about.
That's right. Yeah. For sure.
Right. So the more you know, the less you feel comfortable with what they're doing.
Yeah, no kidding.
So there's what you want to read Canada?
Sure. So Canada anti-Palestinianism. In 2018, author and political activist Yves Engler criticized the New Democratic Party, or the NDP, for its conduct in respect to the Palestine resolution that called for support of efforts to ban settlement products from Canadian markets and using other forms of diplomatic and economic pressure to end the Israeli occupation. Engler said it demonstrated the need to directly confront anti-Palestinianism within the party. In 2020, the University of Toronto allegedly blocked the hiring of Valentina Azarova as director of the International Human Rights Program due to her pro-Palestinian activism. And Dania Majid.
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm sorry, aren't you supposed to be the International Human Rights Program?
Right. Yeah. Pretty sure that should include Palestinians, right?
Just some of the stuff is just to me it's disgustingly mind-blowing, terrible.
Yeah. No, it's Dania Majid, president of the Arab Canadian Lawyers Association, described this as an example that anti-Palestinian racism is alive and well in Canada. In 2023, the principal of Park West School in Halifax, Nova Scotia, apologized after Palestinian students were told they couldn't wear the keffiyeh in the school during the school's Culture Day. Palestinian and pro-Palestinian activists protest the banning of the keffiyeh as an act of anti-Palestinian racism in front of the Department of Education building in Halifax.
And they should do that.
As an aside, in our own Canadian Parliament, there was a person that got ejected because they wore the keffiyeh, and it's and
what the fuck is people lost their minds?
Yeah, they literally their brains are outside of their heads now. They cannot possibly think. It's like absurd.
I mean, I expect, as an anarchist thinker, I expect that states are gonna suck generally. So right. I some people have hope they're gonna get better. I don't know how. I don't just suffer that delusion.
Yeah, I don't have any hope that they're gonna get better.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if they kind of did, but I know they really won't. And here's another thing I also know: even if they take a few steps forward, they also take a few steps back.
Yep.
Because I mean, it's because it's not real progress. It's not real change. It's still this fucking bullshit. Anyways. Yep.
So we've got France anti-Palestinianism. In May 2021, the French Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin requested that the police ban a pro-Palestinian protest in Paris. The Parisian journalist Siham Asbagay described the decision as an expression of French colonial solidarity with the Israeli occupational forces. Sounds about right.
Colonialism, yeah. Let's just accept that totally, right?
So we got Germany anti-Palestinianism. Mati Shamolev in Plus 972 magazine said anti-Palestinian sentiment is common in Germany. The German left, particularly the Anti-Deutsch movement, has been noted for anti-Palestinian sentiment. Many pro-Israel non-Jewish Zionists on the German left regard being anti-Palestinian as connected to their solidarity with Jews. In 2019,
isn't that bizarre?
No, it's like
you're like, excuse me, how is that leftist?
No, it's not good in any sense. So in 2019, the Bundestag declared the BDS movement to be a form of anti-Semitism. In response, the BDS movement condemned the motion as anti-Palestinian. The Palestinian BDS National Committee issued a statement declaring the motion an anti-Palestinian, McCarthyite, and unconstitutional resolution passed by the German parliament. British musician Brian Eno has argued that pro-Palestinian artists are subjected to censorship and inquisitorial McCarthyism due to the actions of the German government and anti-Palestinian groups. On the 75th anniversary of Israel's independence, or for Palestinians, the 75th anniversary of the Nakba, prominent German politician Ursula von der Leyen referred to Israel as a vibrant democracy in the Middle East that made the desert bloom, in remarks criticized by the Foreign Ministry of the Palestinian Authority as a propagandist discourse, propagating an anti-Palestinian racist trope and a whitewashing of Israeli occupation. Germany's relationship with Palestine has been highlighted as complex, quote unquote complex. As at present, Germany's political class exhibits a zealous identification with Israel that is often explained in the terms of the country's past. Alternative readings, however, view this trend as a qualitatively new phenomenon in Germany, largely unrelated to moral considerations pertaining to the Nazi era. Hannah C. Zuberi argues that German manifestations of anti-Semitism, which has been described as the defining marker of post-war German identity, can go beyond the identification of Germans with Jews, sometimes leading to the identification of German Gentiles as Jews and the identification of Germany as Israel. That's very strange. Yeah, that's very strange.
Yeah, that's but when you have racism going on, you can think and come up with some.
That's true. Yeah, people will they'll just say things that don't make any sense, right?
Right, right. and you're always thinking, is there any historical? No, there is not. Just nonsense.
Yeah, you're just saying stupid things. So now we're on to Israel anti-Palestinianism.
Right.
Further information: Israel and apartheid. Israeli demolition.
You can just start with this: Palestinians are target of violence.
Yes, there we go. Palestinians are the target of violence by Israeli settlers and their supporters, predominantly in the West Bank. In November 2021, Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz discussed the steep rise in the number of incidents between settlers and Palestinians in the West Bank, many of which
the West Bank. Hold on a second. The West Bank, which the international government feels that they're being occupied illegally. So just to clarify, like, what's going on there.
Yep, for sure. Many of which result from attacks by residents of illegal settler outposts on Palestinians from neighboring villages. Settler violence also includes acts known as price tag attacks that are in response to actions by the Israeli government, usually against Palestinian targets, and occasionally against Israeli security forces in the West Bank. Palestinian police are forbidden from reacting to acts of violence by Israeli settlers, a fact which diminishes their credibility among Palestinians.
Yeah, isn't that bullshit?
That's wild.
What the fuck?
This group of people is just allowed to do violence to this other group of people, and you're not allowed to do it. You can't do anything about it.
And of course, how can anybody think that that's okay? Come on now.
Yeah.
And why don't they ever bring this up when they talk about, Jews, safety or whatever? I don't know. Does that sound like that safety is happening there too? I mean,
between January and November 2008, 515 criminal suits were opened by Israel against settlers for violence against Arabs or Israeli security forces. 502 of these involved right-wing radicals, while 13 involved left-wing anarchists. What?
Well, they should. The sad thing is that, of course, that's could be wrong, but also that left-wing anarchists. Like, I don't accept that there's a right-wing anarchist.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, personally.
But you know what this is? Because 502 of these involved right-wing radicals enacting violence against Arabs.
Right.
And the other 13 were left-wing anarchists enacting violence against Israeli security forces.
Oh.
That's what it was. There's no way that you're just getting like random anarchists who are violent against random people.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, yeah. Then if you said that, you certainly wouldn't want to say left-wing anarchists.
Yeah, that's right. In
but once again, people, that's the problem too. Why I try to put it in context and talk all the time, because I hate how people constantly slander what an anarchist is.
Yeah, it drives me pretty crazy sometimes the way that people frame anarchism.
Yeah, and then of course they when you hear people that are like educated in some amount doing it, it's even worse. Like, better. Come on.
Yeah, that's right.
You're lying now.
In 2008, the senior Israeli commander in the West Bank said that the hardcore of a few hundred activists were involved in violence against the Palestinians and Israeli soldiers. Some prominent Jewish religious figures living in the occupied territories, as well as Israeli government officials, have condemned and expressed outrage over such behavior, while religious justifications for settler killings have also been given. Israeli media said that the defense establishment began taking a harder line against unruly settlers starting in 2008. In 2011, the BBC reported that the vast majority of settlers are nonviolent, but some within the Israeli government acknowledged a growing problem with extremists. UN figures from 2011 showed that 90% of complaints filed against settlers by Palestinians with the Israeli police never lead to indictment.
Yeah, does that sound correct to you? 90%?
Yeah.
Don't get solved? Fucking, yeah, does that...
They just don't deal with it. Yeah.
So is that sound like democracy is going on? Does that sound like any kind of justice that we can stand behind and get righteous indignation? Fuck, 90% are not being addressed. It's already been said by international court the whole even being there is illegal. And then on top of that being illegally, you're actually doing harm. And then the one time that people do actually, try to, make a case, 90% of it is never addressed. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked. In the 21st century, there has been a steady increase in violence and terror perpetrated by Israeli settlers against Palestinians. In 2012, an EU Heads of Mission report found that settler violence has more than tripled in 3 years up to 2011. United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs figures state that the annual rate of settler attacks, 2,100 attacks in 8 years, has almost quadrupled between 2006 and 2014. In 2021, there was yet another wave of settler violence, which erupted after a 16-year-old settler died in a car chase with Israeli police after having hurled rocks at Palestinians. So far, it has resulted in 44 incidents in the span of a few weeks, injuring 2 Palestinian children in the latter parts of 2021. There has been a marked increase in settler violence towards Palestinians, condemned at the United Nations Security Council. This violence increased following the election of a far-right government in 2022, which proposed to expand Israeli settlements in Palestinian territories, as well as the Hamas attack on Israel on the 7th of October 2023. This section is an excerpt from Racism in Israel and Incidents. In 1994, a Jewish settler in the West Bank and follower of the Kach party, Baruch Goldstein, massacred 29 Palestinian Muslim worshippers at the Cave of the Patriarchs in Hebron. During his funeral, a rabbi declared that even 1 million Arabs are not worth a single Jewish fingernail.
Which is a fucked up thing to say.
That's pretty fucked. That's super fucked.
Yeah.
Goldstein was denounced by most religious streams, including the mainstream Orthodox, and many in Israel classified Goldstein as insane. The Israeli government condemned the massacre and made Kach illegal. Kach? The Israeli army killed a further 9 Palestinians during riots following the massacre, and the Israeli government severely restricted Palestinian freedom of movement in Hebron, while letting settlers roam free. Although Israel also forbade a very small number, 18, of Israeli settlers from entering Palestinian towns and demanded that those settlers turn in their army-issued rifles, it denied the PLO's request that all settlers be disarmed and that an international force be established to protect Palestinians from Israeli aggressors. Goldstein's grave has become a pilgrimage site for Jewish extremists. Current Israeli Minister of National Security, Itamar Ben-Gvir, is known to have had a portrait of Goldstein hanging in his living room as homage. This section is an excerpt from textbooks in Israel teaching the Arab-Israeli conflict.
Right. So the whole point, though, is you get it that there's a lot more going on, right? Because if you only listen to, like American media, probably Canada too, it's just here's Israel doing nothing, Hamas attacks, and then everything is justified. It's like, what the holy fuck?
Yeah.
Let's go down to,
that's right.
Let's go down to anti-Zionism.
All right, anti-Zionism. So anti-Zionism is opposition to Zionism. Although anti-Zionism is a heterogeneous phenomenon, all its proponents agree that the creation of the modern state of Israel and the movement to create a sovereign Jewish state in the region of Palestine, a region partly coinciding with the biblical land of Israel, was flawed or unjust in some way. Until World War II, anti-Zionism was widespread among Jews for varying reasons. Orthodox Jews opposed Zionism on religious grounds as preempting the Messiah.
So it used to be widespread among Jews.
Yes.
So anti-Zionism, which they also tried to say was just basically anti-Semitism, which also is wrong. And we're seeing here that it used to be that most Jews had this opinion.
Yes.
Just context again.
Yep.
Making sure the context was real super clear.
Yeah, just to put it out there. Yeah, it's
right?
like
it's pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
So most Jews used to be anti-Zionism. So saying if you're against the state of Israel, as they try to make, the Jews won't have a homeland. How dare you? What are we going to do? Jump in the sea? Okay, most Jews used to be anti-Zionism. So I'm just making the comment that when you have history and facts and it's in the way.
I've heard it said that many anti-Zionist Jews that are like the Orthodox Jews or believe that wherever the Jewish people are is their homeland, and so they don't need like Israel, right?
Right. Well, yeah. But I'm just saying also that literally there was or used to be most Jews were anti-Zionism.
Yeah, the majority. Yeah.
So I'm just making it what an interesting fact.
Yep.
Because you can hate a state, right? Yeah, that's always okay.
Yep, that's right.
Anyway.
Yeah, hating a state is always okay.
Yeah, just throwing that out there.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Free speech for not for long, I guess.
Yeah. Orthodox Jews opposed Zionism on religious grounds as preempting the Messiah, while many secular Jewish anti-Zionists identified more with the ideals of the Enlightenment and saw Zionism as a reactionary ideology. Opposition to Zionism in the Jewish diaspora was surmounted only from the 1930s onward, as conditions for Jews deteriorated radically in Europe, and with the Second World War, the sheer scale of the Holocaust was felt. Thereafter, Jewish anti-Zionist groups generally either disintegrated or transformed into pro-Zionist organizations, though many small groups and bodies like the American Council for Judaism conserved an earlier Reform tradition of rejection of Zionism. Non-Jewish anti-Zionism likewise spanned communal and religious groups, with the Arab population of Palestine largely opposed to what it considered the colonial dispossession of its homeland. Opposition to Zionism was and continues to be widespread in the Arab world, especially among Palestinians. Zionism's proponents note its success in establishing the Jewish state of Israel in the region of Palestine and seek to portray anti-Zionism as a broad opposition to Israel and a Jewish presence in the region.
That is exactly what they try to say.
Yep, that's right. Yeah. Some supporters of Zionism highlight that some anti-Semites hold anti-Zionist views. This relationship between Zionism, anti-Zionism, and anti-Semitism is debated, with some academics and organizations that study anti-Semitism taking the view that anti-Zionism is inherently anti-Semitic or a new anti-Semitism.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. While others reject any
Zionism is about ownership of land.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a people.
Yeah. Again, one's a state. and also the belief that people own land. Yeah, I'm an anarchist also. I really don't get the whole land thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Ownership, like the fucking. But I'm just saying, if you're against some people owning land, that literally is not racism.
Yeah, exactly. While others reject any such linkage as unfounded and a method to stifle criticism of Israel and its policies, including its occupation of the West Bank and blockade of the Gaza Strip. Early Jewish anti-Zionism. Formal anti-Zionism arose in the late 19th century as a response to Theodor Herzl's proposal in the Jewish State, 1896, to create an independent country in Palestine for Jews subject to persecution in the civilized nations of Europe. But even before Herzl, the idea of Zionism, of Jews as constituting a nation rather than a people constituted by their religion, promoted by Moses Hess, 1862, and Leo Pinsker, 1882, elicited fierce opposition within European Orthodox Jewry. Samson Raphael Hirsch, for one, considered the active promotion of Jewish emigration to Palestine a sin. The creation of a Jewish state before the appearance of the Messiah was widely interpreted in Jewish circles, religious circles, as contradicting the divine will, a program, furthermore, that was visibly driven by Jewish secularists. Until World War I, across Central Europe, Jewish religious leaders largely perceived the Zionist movement's aspirations for Jewish nationhood in a distant New Judea as a threat, in that it might encourage, paradoxically, the very anti-Semites with their treatment of Jews in their midst as aliens, whose fundamental rationale Zionism itself sought to undermine.
See, so once again, when they try to, the ADA, it seems like they try to act like anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, literally ridiculous.
Yeah.
And also not even historical.
No, that's right.
Which is what also really irritates me. If you're gonna supposedly tell us, right, inform us, well, you need to be careful of this because of, wouldn't a good idea to also like list the facts of like context of where it comes from and who did it and similar things. Like, so not only, to recap, not only is To the River to the Sea Zionist, but also anti-Zionist is Israeli.
Right. Yeah. There's lots of like anti-Zionist Jewish people. It's just very common.
Right. I'm just saying, and seemingly before Israel, right? Way before.
Yep.
So before anyone else that was Palestine who was thinking about saying it already, that's what I'm trying to say, that From the River to the Sea started with Jews, not anyone else, and being anti-Zionist started with Jews before it started with anyone else.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, I think that context should like be explained.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, keep going.
Where am I? When Herzl began to propound his proposal, many, including secular Jews, regarded Zionism as a fanciful and unrealistic movement. Some anti-Semites even dismissed it as a Jewish trick, quote-unquote Jewish trick. Many assimilationist Jewish liberals, heirs of the Enlightenment, had argued that Jews should enjoy full equality in exchange for a pledge of loyalty to their respective nation states. Those liberal Jews who accepted the integration and assimilation principles saw Zionism as a threat to efforts to facilitate Jewish citizenship and equality within the European nation-state context. Many in the intellectual elite of the Anglo-Jewish community, for example, opposed Zionism because they felt most at home in England, where, in their view, anti-Semitism was neither a social or cultural norm.
Okay, let's go down further. There's other stuff people can read. I don't get all that. Let's do anti-Zionism and allegations of racism.
In the 1960s and 70s, Soviets and Americans interpreted the Arab-Israeli conflict as a proxy war between the totalitarianism of the Soviet-Arab alliance and the democracies of the Western world. The way they frame shit, it's just like...
Well, Armin said to defend the Western world.
Yep. They love that Western world framing.
Yeah. What the fuck? I know. So
and it's always it's always they're the totalitarians and we're not. We're freedom-loving people. That's why we arrest everybody who speaks in favor of the Soviets or China or,
or Palestine.
Or Palestine, yeah. Israel's victory in the Six-Day War of 1967 necessitated a diplomatic response by the Soviet Arab alliance. The result was resolutions in the Organization for African Unity and the non-aligned movement condemning Zionism and equating it with racism and apartheid during the 1970s. This culminated in November 1975 in the United Nations General Assembly passage of the Resolution 3379 by a vote of 72 to 35 with 32 abstentions, which declared Zionism is a form of racism and racial discrimination.
Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's interesting.
So when people address the opposite, say that if you're anti-Zionist, you're a racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that how historically we've understood this? Is that how the UN has established it?
Right. No, I'm afraid not.
So this new thing of making everything anti-Semitism is really just fucking fucked up.
Yeah, no kidding. The passage evoked, in the words of American UN Ambassador Daniel Patrick Moynihan, a long, mocking applause. UN representatives from Libya, Syria, and the PLO made speeches claiming that this resolution negated previous resolutions calling for land for peace agreements between Israel and its Arab neighbors. Israel's UN representative, Chaim Herzog, interpreted the resolution as an attack on Israel's legitimacy. African UN delegates from non-Arab countries also resented the resolution as a distraction from the fight against racism in places like South Africa and Rhodesia.
Which I think is odd because to me we should be fighting racism all places.
Yeah, I'm not big on it's a distraction thing.
Yeah. Let's go to criticism of Israel.
Okay. Criticism of Israel is a subject of journalistic and scholarly commentary and research within the scope of international relations theory, expressed in terms of political science. Israel has faced international criticism since its establishment in 1948, relating to a variety of issues, many of which are centered around human rights violations in its occupation of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Palestinian refugees are defined by the UN as Arabs who lived in Palestine for at least 2 years prior to 1948, and their descendants who fled or were expelled from their homes during and after the 1948 Palestine War. The causes and responsibilities of the exodus are a matter of controversy among historians and commentators of the conflict. Whereas historians now agree on most of the events of that period, there remains disagreement as to whether the exodus was a result of a plan designed before or during the war by Zionist leaders, or was an unintended consequence of the war.
Well, they did sing From the River to the Sea, and since they see it as bigoted and hateful and genocidal, I would say that they're seeing it through their own eyes.
Yeah, that seems like that's the every accusation is a confession kind of thing.
Really. There's a whole bunch more stuff. I don't want to go into all this stuff. I mean, we don't have time. Keep going down. I think, let's say, distinguishing legitimate criticism of Israel from anti-Semitism.
All right. So the European Monitoring Center on Racism and Xenophobia, EUMC, prepared a report in 2003 that distinguished criticism of Israel from anti-Semitism by testing whether Israel is seen as being representative of, quote-unquote, the Jew. If the speaker is considering Israel as a representative of Jews in general, then anti-Semitism is deemed to be underlying the criticism. Nathan Sharansky, former Soviet dissident and Israeli minister, suggested a three-part test to distinguish legitimate criticism of Israel from anti-Semitic attacks. Sharansky's tests that identify a criticism as anti-Semitic are: 1. Demonization. When Israeli actions are blown so far out of proportion that the account paints Israel as the embodiment of all evil. 2. Double standards. when Israel is criticized soundly for an action or policy that any other government would be viewed as justified in doing, like protecting its citizens from terrorism. Or 3, delegitimization, a denial of Israel's right to exist or the right of the Jewish people to live securely in a homeland. Demonization and double standards I don't agree to those 3.
I don't agree with any of this shit.
Yeah, I don't agree to those. That's nonsense.
To say that Israel's right to exist, a state's right to exist.
No state has a right to exist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's there's a bunch more stuff you can read, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to go into enough time. I want where it says represent Jews as victims.
Okay. Norman Finkelstein and Stephen Zipperstein, professor of Jewish culture and history at Stanford University, suggests that a criticism of Israel is sometimes inappropriately considered to be anti-Semitism due to an inclination to perceive Jews as victims. Zipperstein suggests that the common attitude of seeing Jews as victims is sometimes implicitly transferred to the perception of Israel as a victim, while Finkelstein suggests that the depiction of Israel as a victim, as a Jew among nations, is a deliberate ploy to stifle criticism of Israel.
Oh, okay, I can agree with that.
Yep.
The next one, self-hating Jews.
Yeah, so self-hating Jews. Sander Gilman has written, one of the most recent forms of Jewish self-hatred is the virulent opposition to the existence of the state of Israel.
Just think of that. What? Excuse me. You can be against a fucking state.
Yeah. No, it's just absurd.
Keep going.
He uses the term not against those who criticize Israel's policy, but against Jews who oppose Israel's existence. Michael Lerner, editor of Tikkun magazine, asserts that the equation of criticism with Israel and anti-Semitism has resulted in conflict within the Jewish community. In particular, proponents of the equation sometimes attack Jewish critics of Israel policies as self-hating Jews. Lerner also claims that the equation of criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism and the resulting charges of self-hating Jew has resulted in the alienation of young Jews from their faith. Anthony Learman believes that many attacks on Jewish critics of Israel are vitriolic, ad hominem, and indiscriminate, and claims that anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism have been defined too broadly without reason. Lerman also states that the redefinition of anti-Semitism to include anti-Zionism has caused Jews to attack other Jews because many Jews are leaders in several anti-Zionist organizations. Nicholas Safir, chair of the board of trustees of the New Israel Fund in the UK, published an open letter defending non-governmental organizations, NGOs, that operate within Israel to promote civil rights. He said that several organizations such as NGO Monitor, Israel Resource News Agency, World Net Daily, and the Near and Middle East Policy Review associate moral and ethical criticism of any activity by Israel or the policies of its government as being anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, and when conducted by Jews, as evidence of self-hatred.
Which is just fucking ridiculous.
Nope.
Scare tactics.
Just lies and dishonesty, eh?
Right. Well, the next thing is scare tactics, which is what they're doing.
Yep. The International Jewish Anti-Zionist Network is also opposed to the use of anti-Semitic label to suppress criticism and objected to the fear tactics employed when the anti-Semitic label was applied to supporters of the Israel Apartheid Week, claiming that it was reminiscent of the anti-communist scare tactics of the 1950s. Michael Lerner suggests that some United States politicians are reluctant to criticize Israel because they are afraid of being labeled anti-Semitic. Lerner also states that groups that promote peace in the Middle East are afraid to form coalitions lest they be discredited by what Lerner terms the Jewish establishment. Okay.
And doing that draws attention away from genuine anti-Semitism, which is bad.
Yep. Brian Klug asserts that the proponents of new anti-Semitism define anti-Semitism so broadly that they deprive the term anti-Semitism of all meaning. Klug writes, when anti-Semitism is everywhere, it is nowhere. And when every anti-Zionist is an anti-Semite, we no longer know how to recognize the real thing. the concept of anti-Semitism loses its significance. In the book, The Politics of Anti-Semitism, Scott Handelman writes, partisans of Israel often make false accusations of anti-Semitism to silence Israel's critics. The anti-Semite label is harmful not only because it censors debate about Israel's racism and human rights abuses, but because it trivializes the ugly history of Jew hatred.
Right. So let's go down to the picture.
So it says, this is incredibly sad, but sadly unsurprising. When he received threats not to go after Israel, at Karim Khan QC reveals a senior leader told him the ICC is built for Africa and for things like Putin, not for the West and its allies.
Isn't that fucking shocking?
Yeah.
I mean, no, but yes.
Yeah. Then there's a tweet by Christiane Amanpour. It says, this is not a witch hunt. International Criminal Court Chief Prosecutor Karim Khan QC appointed an independent panel of international legal experts to review the arrest warrant process.
Right. So the arrest warrants were not a witch hunt.
Yeah.
So them being blown off is not a. Yeah. So and I have a bunch of links. You can just read the titles. These are links people can click on in the blog.
Okay. So Biden admin says it's reasonable to assess Israel used American weapons in Gaza in ways inconsistent with international law.
Right. But yet we're not going to do anything
That's
about
some
that.
mealy mouth speak, right? That's like so like neutral. They used them inconsistent with international, so they broke the law.
Right, which is should deserve the arrest warrants, right? So not a witch hunt.
Yeah, that's right.
So even the Biden administration agrees, not a witch hunt.
Yeah.
Then what's the next thing? It's
exclusive. Some U.S. officials say in internal memo Israel may be violating international law in Gaza.
Oh, so once again, not a witch hunt when U.S. officials, right, memos are saying they know this.
And then U.S. says Israel's use of U.S. arms likely violated international law, but evidence is incomplete.
Right, but that means there is some evidence.
Yeah, that's right.
So they still agree that it's happening. So the fact that someone gives an arrest warrant, which you're arrested when you have some evidence, right?
Yep.
Sometimes incomplete, and then the court decides, or jury, or whatever the hell. I'm just making a comment that.
Yep.
So to say that it's wrong and Israel somehow, needs to be protected from any kind of international court and international law, when you already admit and know they're violating it.
Yeah. Ridiculous. In Gaza, Israel shows wanton disregard for international and moral law. And then it's not only Israel on trial. South Africa's genocide case is testing the West's claim to moral superiority.
Right, and showing it has none.
Yep.
It has none.
It has none. That's right. Israel/OPT, ICC application for arrest warrants for Netanyahu, Sinwar, and other senior Israeli, as well as Hamas officials.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So going back to it wasn't a witch hunt. The U.S. knew about it and says that even when they researched it, the administration and officials that are not part of the administration are all saying they violated international law, and then they get charged. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Then read the next picture.
Yeah, so it's from @Gritty is the way, or @Gritty 2022. The party told you to reject.
By the way, I always. Sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
Just some of the people that are on here, I don't know that this is a good person. Sometimes I just see something and I agree with it. I'm just showing you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be all of a sudden, because I don't know. Some of these people that might say something I've used, just like when I used that one video that I don't agree with, like the whole video.
Right.
Any part of it, like from the beginning to the end. So. You know what I'm saying. I just don't want people to think that I'm also promoting this person. I just saw that and went, okay. So I don't know if they're good, bad, whatever. Just so you know.
Yep. So they tweeted, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. And it's over on articles that says, White House says no genocide happening in Gaza.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. There's another tweet from Omar Al-Fairs. Sounds reasonable. When are you going to demand Israel to pay for rebuilding after they destroyed the Gaza Strip with your weapons? And that's a quote tweet of the Department of the State. Congress has given us the power to seize Russian assets in the U.S., and we intend to use it. We are working with G7 partners to see that Russia's immobilized sovereign assets are used to rebuild, basically.
Right, correct. So the point is, it's just amazing to me that they accept the international court when they charged Putin.
Yep.
They accept the international court when they say they can take funds and make Russia pay, but they will not make Israel pay, which is totally logical. Look, how can that not be logical?
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's the same thing. Yeah.
Then this is my writing. Humans are not logical.
Humans are not logical thinking beings that only sometimes use the amusement park of emotions. We are emotional beings in the amusement park of feelings that only sometimes use logical thinking. We are like believing machines. We vacuum up ideas like Velcro sticks to almost everything. We accumulate beliefs that we allow to negatively influence our lives, often without realizing it. Jero Funes Flores says, this seems huge. Whistleblower of CBC's whitewashing of Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza. This quote stands out. If journalists in Gaza were sacrificing their lives to tell the truth, I should at least be prepared to take some risks. And that was from Breach Media talking about the whitewashing of the CBC's whitewashing of the genocide. Saul Stanford.
But I think that in general, I would agree with that statement.
Yeah.
If there are people willing to tell the truth, like we're doing here, we're telling the truth. Some people don't want to hear it. Some people will call me or us I'm sure they're going to call us anti-Semites or some bullshit, or, because I'm doing this video or we're doing this video or our ideas, we're talking about because they're ignorant, But the point is that we need to understand that we have to take some risks.
Yep.
So that's the same thing. Like I don't feel like it's not. I hope that this show does well because we have some good stuff to say. But it's not like I'm some whore for fucking prestige or power or fame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, but some things have to be said. Like, that's why I wanted to interrupt what I normally do and address this specifically.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if other people are going to risk themselves to tell the truth, I too should be, willing to take some risks.
Yeah. Moving on, I guess we got Saul Staniforth. He says, quote, starving is a crime, killing civilians is a war crime, and willfully causing suffering is also a criminal act. Those are the top 3 reasons the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court has cited for requesting arrest warrants for the Israel PM and defense minister.
How is that not reasonable?
Yeah, for sure. At Jeremy Ward 33, Biden and Blinken speaking out. They know they're next. Over an article that says, Joe Biden attacks request by ICC prosecutor for Netanyahu arrest warrant. U.S. president sides with the Israeli PM as he calls Karim Khan's pursuit of warrants for Netanyahu along with the Hamas leaders outrageous.
Yeah, and how is it outrageous? Literally, you're doing this stuff, and an international criminal court has established it.
Yep. Arnold Bertrand says, this is hilarious. Lindsey Graham says if the ICC is allowed to issue arrest warrants for Israeli leaders, then we're next.
You should be next.
To this, anti-war protesters in the audience applaud.
Yes, that's like base as hell. Yes,
of course.
You should be next. Hell yes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can clap all you want to, says a disgruntled Graham. Yeah, you should be in jail. Yes.
Totally support that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at their inconsistency. This next thing is about their inconsistency.
Okay. So the ICC warrant for Putin, Lindsey Graham, The decision by the ICC to issue an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin is a giant step in the right direction for the international community. It's more than justified by the evidence of the ICC warrant for Netanyahu. This outrageous decision is truly a slap in the face to the independent judiciary in Israel, which is renowned for their independence. I will be issuing a detailed statement regarding the outrageous actions by the ICC against the state of Israel, and I will feverishly work with colleagues on both sides of the aisle in both chambers to levy damning sanctions against the ICC.
Yeah, we're sanctions against the court, not against the one that's doing the genocide, but the one that's wants to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck?
Kyle Church how's that international rules-based order doing, fuckers? Blinken, over an article that says Blinken says he wants to work with Congress to penalize International Criminal Court.
Literally like in a bizarre world, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the supposed good guys want to attack the sovereign court. Oh, well, what?
They're absolutely right, because America is a war criminal too. So they have to be this way. They have to see it this way, or else they can't consistently, claim what they claim about America. So
yeah. Well, consistent is not something that they're really good at anyways.
That's true. That is true.
So Blinken wants to work with Congress to penalize the International Criminal Court.
Yeah.
Still blows my fucking mind. Go ahead.
U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says he wants to work with Congress on legislation to penalize the International Criminal Court after it applied for arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Given the events of yesterday, I think we have to look at the appropriate steps to deal with again what is profoundly wrong-headed decision, Blinken said at a State Department budget hearing with the Foreign Affairs Relations Committee.
But just think, it's a wrong decision when your own government, right, agencies figured out that Israel's probably breaking international law.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Right. That no evidence, no, right. Let's go down. I don't want to read all that. So what's the international court, right? They're talking shit on it. What is it? Down here, see it says international court, question mark.
So the International Criminal Court, or the ICC, is an intergovernmental organization and international tribunal seated in the Hague, Netherlands. It is the first and only permanent international court with jurisdiction to prosecute individuals for the international crimes of genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and the crimes of aggression.
See, okay, pause it. That's fine. You can not know what you read. We're getting late. But so they're literally the ones that their only thing they do is genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and crimes of aggression.
Yep.
And yet we're going to sanction them, even though our own research seems to imply, if they want to be generous, that Israel is breaking, international law.
Yep.
So they're guilty. So literally, we know they're guilty, but instead of punishing them, we punish the court.
Yeah.
The
rule of law doesn't mean anything for the powerful, right?
It's just a fucking joke. Like, we don't want two systems of government. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to. We don't have time, so I don't read it. Just go down to the next picture. So Biden rejects the application of arrest warrants.
Yeah. We reject the ICC's application of arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. What's happening is not a genocide.
Fucking just shut up. And then next one says Biden should stop attacking the International Criminal Court. And the person says Biden's criticism of the ICC is self-serving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you already said, because they're literally America's guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. The last thing Biden needs is the ICC making waves.
Right. And so then the next picture says, will the U.S. block the IJC on Gaza?
It's thwarted the court before. An adverse ICJ ruling on Nicaragua in 1984 shows how the U.S. subverts international law when it chooses.
Yeah. Oh, so see, this is the point we need to get this. This is not new for this current attack or even Israel.
Yeah.
It's the U.S. is criminal. That's what it is. As Corey already stated. Yeah. So yeah. And then the next one is the U.S. threatens to arrest IGC judges. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like you're watching a cartoon.
Oh yeah. So that was in that was in 2018, right?
That wasn't even now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
are we getting a pattern here?
Yeah. U.S.
They
threatens to
just
arrest
literally
ICC judges.
Only like the international law that favors them. Well, going back to the self-serving that I agree with. Biden's thing is America's is self-serving. Because literally anytime they just say the international court only applies when they think it's cool for them.
Yep.
This is it's fucking the state media from hell. And then the U.S. Hague Invasion Act becomes law.
Yep. So if the Hague, okay, so I'll read what it says here. A new law supposedly protecting U.S. service members from the International Criminal Court shows that Bush administration will stop at nothing in its campaign against the court.
Right. So but you can just don't have to read the rest of it. Just so it once again, it's not the president's, right? Which ones? Because you have Trump doing it, which they have something. They have back in Nicaragua time, right? So a long time ago. And then also Biden, and then also Bush. Literally, it's America is the problem.
They have to be against the ICC because they keep committing war crimes.
See what I'm saying? So so go down to the next person,
Fiona Lally at Michael Grove is a liar. Gove says that opposing a genocide in Palestine is anti-Semitic. Mass murder of Palestinians is not a Jewish policy. It's a policy of the Israeli state and Western imperialism. Gove should be answering for his crimes, not being given a platform to spew lies.
Yep.
And then Saul Staniforth, latest from the only democracy in the Middle East. Israel has seized the equipment of Associated Press and taken down the AP live feed from inside Israel showing northern Gaza. Israel is using the law that was passed to ban Al Jazeera to now target other media organizations.
Right, because that's the people certainly doing the right thing.
Yeah, for sure.
That we supposedly have internal documents that they admit they are doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But yet it's anti-Semitic if we address the fact that we know they're doing the wrong thing. Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And then rough arrests.
Yeah, rough arrests violate the spirit of NYPD commitment to reform. Protests policing, critics charge.
Right, yeah, rough arrests. Non-violent protests are getting rough arrests. Like, the fuck?
Yeah.
See, 41 arrests, pro-Palestinian rally.
Yeah, in Bay Ridge on Saturday, including 39 people hit with only minor charges, were simply a response to lawlessness, and any suggestion otherwise is simply untrue.
Right,
yeah, so City Hall says that.
Like just not doing anything really wrong, so not violent.
Yep.
And then heavy-handed NYPD on the Palestinian protesters.
So leaders of the NYPD sought to justify what appeared to be heavy-handed crackdown by a controversial unit on pro-Palestinian protesters in Bay Ridge on Saturday amid mounting scrutiny about the department's commitment to a federal settlement last year meant to protect demonstrators' First Amendment rights and limit police violence. Video shared on social media showed police punching, shoving, and roughly engaging with the demonstrators. As a part of the settlement, which went into effect in February and stemmed from the NYPD's aggressive treatment of the George Floyd protests in 2020, the NYPD committed to working out new rules for accommodating demonstrations whenever possible.
Yeah, so then go down to Catherine Love.
And she says the problem isn't civil disobedience, it's civil obedience.
Right, and that I agree with. And then it says a core
value in anarchist thinking is a challenge to and the abolition of all unjust hierarchical power structures. Power can't justify itself, and we should be very skeptical of all power. Just leaders are one of many, not one over many. Yeah. We all make a difference. Often we wait for others to be friendly, to be kind, to make a difference, or to be a leader. When we have such power all along, may I be friendly, kind, make a difference, and be a leader of such active humanism, promoting human good. I am wise, as I know I can be wrong. I am wise because I am open to learning from anyone. I am wise, though I am far from perfect. In fact, I am powerful as a thinker for the very reasons I challenge my thinking and eagerly work to change when I see errors.
Right, and that's like we were saying, let's give everyone the benefit of the doubt before they watch this, that they didn't know all these facts and this how they've been pushed propaganda.
Yep.
But now that they do know, they need to change and see the errors.
Yep.
And so I think that we can wrap it up with that. And I
Sound good?
appreciate everybody for making it. And do you have any things you wanted to mention at that? And
I don't. I'm quite happy with this one. I think it's informative. It demonstrates which is the right side of things, which is also happens to be the true side of things.
Right.
Like, yeah. It's just, I think this is a very good video. I think people will get a lot out of it.
Right on. And go ahead and tell people where they can check out your stuff and what you're doing.
I have a website. It's skepticalleftist.com. I do. You can also follow me on YouTube. It's the Skeptical Leftist podcast, and I'm on Spotify and all those places. And I do a show where I interview people, as well as a show where me and my buddy Justin talk about a variety of books. And I also do a show called The Feminist Family with my partner.
Right on. Well, thank you. And everyone, go check out Corey's stuff and, follow it and hook up on his Patreon. Show him some support. I appreciate, you helping us, Corey.
For sure.
Like all the stuff that I do, I want it to be informative, and it's also historical.
Yep.
And it's also, anti-racism.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are going to get a good amount of it out of this that can help them be better informed about what's going on with Israel and Palestine, and even the protests and stuff. So
exactly. All right, take care. Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Damien Marie AtHope. In the simplest terms, I am an atheist-humanist philosopher and prehistorical writer-researcher at DamienMarieAtHope.com. I am specifically an axiological atheist. An axiological atheism can be thought to involve ethical and value theory reasoned and moral argument driven apatheism, agnosticism, atheism, anti-theism, anti-religionism, secularism, and humanism. Axiological atheists can be understood as a value theory or a value science atheist. As an axiological atheism's ethically reasoned and constructive pro-humanity. I am an axiological thinker, value theorist. The science of goodness, worthiness, usefulness, valuableness, virtue, reliableness, accuracy, validity, morality, integrity, beneficialness, etc., etc. We axiologists have a value consciousness. And in general, we see the architecture of humanistic humanitarianism value in people that we see as dignity beings. Places and things are not. Axiology is a value theory. In its broadest sense, it involves areas of philosophy that are deemed to encompass some evaluative or evaluation aspect. Therefore, it crosses almost all domains in some way or another. Now for a more detailed terms as to what I am. I am an axiological atheist, an anti-theist, an anti-religionist, secularist, humanist, rationalist, writer, artist, poet, philosopher, advocate, activist with schooling in psychology, sociology, as well as I am an autodidact, self-taught in science, archaeology, anthropology, and philosophy. I promote science and am against pseudoscience, pseudo-history, pseudo-morality, things that are found in religion.